I am Liam Bailey, and you are watching Elite Sports TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
All right. Enough respect.
Hey guys, Bunny Shaw here with Elite Sports TV. Make sure you like and subscribe and always tune in. Hey guys, Bunny Shaw here with Elite Sports TV. Make sure you like and subscribe and always tune in.
Hi, my name is Taekwondo Tracy, former national 100-meter champion of Jamaica, and you're tuned into Elite Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe to keep up to date with all of the new and upcoming informations we have to do with, especially corruption in athletics. And turn on the notification bell to get all of the upcoming information that you need. I'm out. Hi.
Island Best Juice. What are you waiting on? Check them out on Instagram and Facebook. Island Best Juice. It's your boy, Ryan LFC, representing for Island Best Juice. If you are in the United States and you not try Island Best Juice, what you waiting on? Look at these beautiful flavor. Why not? If you are in Tampa, if you are in Florida, if you not drink Island Best Juice, you not drink the juice. It's your boy Ryan LFC, representing for Island Best Juice, the best juice in Florida. What you waiting on? Anyway, across the United States, Island Best Juice can find you. If they find me and me all the way in Canada, why not? Check them out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere they are. Island Best Juice.
Yeah, people, welcome back to Elite Sports TV. It's me, myself, and I, 433 Presser. Once again, people, it's my first time hosting the show for Ryan LFC, the man himself, the Liverpool fan who always take pen tablet when him team lose, when the Lakers and when Liverpool lose, right? And now that Jurgen Klopp is leaving, I could imagine that Ryan LFC will be under more stress. But before we get the show started, because we have so many things to talk about today, people, as the advertisement says, if you're not drink Island Best Juice, you're not drink no juice. So when you don't know already, I think the link is in the description. So if you're in Florida, especially, head over to Island Best and support the thing and buy some juice. If you're not drink Island Best, then you're not drink no juice. But once again, people, smash the like button. Come from underneath in the bed and like up the video. You see me? We now move forward until we see 40 likes. 47 people on stream. We need to see 40 likes. We have some special guests who will be joining us today because we're going to talk about Coach Heimir Hallgrímsson. We're going to make a 26-man squad as well for the Copa America that's coming up. Also, we're going to preview the upcoming JPL final, Rudolph Speid versus Tupper Whitmore, Mount Pleasant versus Cavaliers. Last year, we know that both teams played in the final. Mount Pleasant, however, was the winner. They took everything, and I think they beat Cavaliers 2-1 as well. So this is the return fixture. So who will win tomorrow, Sunday, in the Super Jamaica Premier League final? So let's get it started. We're going to talk about Michail Antonio as well, as he did an interview recently opening up about his personal life as well as what the future holds for him. So let me get the first guest on screen and introduce him to the folks. Francis, what's going on, man?
How you doing? How you doing? Blessings to everybody in the chat. What's going on? 43 person.
I'm doing good. Not too bad. It's a pleasure to finally. Well, not finally, because I didn't expect it to host the show for Ryan LFC, Still have some big shoes to fill, so hopefully I can do that properly.
I'm looking forward to a good show. The topics that are on hand seem quite interesting. Love it.
Yeah. So let me just ask you the first question, right? Who are you supporting for the final tomorrow?
Mount Pleasant. Mount Pleasant. I think Mount Pleasant has a more well-rounded team. Cavaliers, I believe, has more individual talent. Not to say that they're not a good team. I just think that Mount Pleasant as a unit, with Whitmore at the head, he definitely finds a way to get them to play together from the defense and the midfield to the attacking. So I'm with Mount Pleasant tomorrow. Don't have a score as yet. Maybe by the time the game run tomorrow, I'll have a score of
no. I have to ask you the scoreline, man. What's the scoreline? You have to give us a scoreline.
I'm still on the fence. I'm more on like a 1-0, 1-0, 2-0, but I'm more leaning to 1-0 then 2-0, because I know once Mount Pleasant scores, Cavaliers going to be on the pressure. They're going to be pressuring to try to get an equalizer. So, I'm on the fence. Now, it changes. The reason why, because we know that if Cavaliers score first, it changes everything.
Mm-hmm.
Everything changes because the pressure's on. They get into defensive mode. So, what is it for you? I'd like to know who you roll with and what's the scoreline.
Well, for me, I believe in this Cavaliers team. It's a relatively young team, to be honest. Cavaliers, they've always been a young team in terms of how they compete with a lot of the players. Mount Pleasant, however, is a very good team. I think they're more motivated to win this game. Not that Cavaliers isn't motivated, but I can't remember the history. But I don't remember. I think it was a couple years ago. I don't remember which team was the last team to do the double in the JPL, right? So Mount Pleasant, they could do that for the first time in a long while in terms of winning the double. And I think it would be a good thing for Mount Pleasant. It would show the dominance and the program that they have at Mount Pleasant. So I think it would be a fantastic thing for Mount Pleasant. So for me, I'm going with Cavaliers, and I think it'll be like a 2-1, to be honest. I think the scorelines will repeat, but it will go in the direction of Cavaliers.
What's your reasoning for Cavaliers in terms of what about their style of play that you feel like will get the better of the Mount Pleasant players and their system?
Yeah, the Cavaliers, for me, seeing that they're young, lost the final last year, I think it's a very cohesive crop of players in terms of how they, pass the ball, how they defend as well. And it's a team that they do create, they can score chances. However, the biggest word for me with Cavaliers facing Mount Pleasant is it's a well-oiled machine in terms of from the back four to the front three, you know what I'm saying? And if you look at Mount Pleasant in the quarterfinal as well as the semifinal, in terms of just how they pass the ball, it's just exceptional. It's the first team in Jamaica, other from like Clarendon College at the schoolboy football level. I think Mount Pleasant, they're a replica of Clarendon College in terms of passing the ball, in terms of staying calm in high pressure moments as well. And it's a team that can really defend, it's a team that can score one goal and they can defend it, But I have one more guest in the studio, so we're going to bring him on screen. And I'm very familiar with this person, Ricardo Midaos. Wagwan. I think you might be muted.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, Wagwan.
Yo?
Yeah, I can hear you. You hear me?
Oh, yeah, I hear now.
Yeah, so who we are for the final? I know say it's an Arnett Gardens money, but who we are bring for the final tomorrow?
Neutral.
Neutral.
That's all on my mind right now to finish in that last qualification spot to Caribbean Cup.
For the Caribbean Cup.
Yeah.
I'm hearing that. So you're neutral. Francis is going with Mount Pleasant, and I'm going with Cavaliers. Let me see what the people in the comment section are saying. Elite Sports TV, Tycoon, big up yourself. Max City, MG, I give away tickets, so most people now go forward until that done. Well, people, for the folks who are here, 80 viewers we have on the live, smash the like button. Come from underneath in the bed as a Ryan LFCC and smash the like button. Also, if you're new, hit the red subscribe button and stop ramp with the thing. Max City say, calm down, Ryan. Our Ryan say going. Ryan say, where are my people? Them are rolling. But yeah, people, once again, smash the like button before we progress with the show. And Ricardo, I was telling Francis, we're going to talk about Heimir Hallgrímsson, right? Because I have some stats surrounding Heimir Hallgrímsson that we need to discuss because I feel like you have some folks within the YouTube space who is selling or spreading some false narratives surrounding Coach Heimir Hallgrímsson. I think we need to discuss that to have those information on paper. We're going to talk about the Copa America that's upcoming as well, because in a recent interview, Heimir Hallgrímsson touched on the group that we're in. So we're going to talk about that. Did you see the interview?
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah, so it was a brilliant interview for me. Really insightful interview. And Francis, you were catching up on that interview as well. We're also going to build a 26-man squad for the Copa America that's upcoming. So I'm going to pull that up on screen later in the show, and we're going to discuss that by the help of the viewers in the comment section. We're going to take their comments as well to build our 26-man squad, as well as the panelists ourselves. So let's start off with Coach Heimir Hallgrímsson. And Francis, let me just ask you, what's your general...
Hold on one second, if you don't mind. I want to salute Ricardo Media House. What's going on?
Yeah,
he can't be on the fence with the neutral. We got to know who he going with. I can't roll with the presser. You press me immediately. You can't. Yeah, you gotta pick a side. You can't sit on the fence. I know you're neutral, but you gotta pick.
Yeah. Give a team I think I'll go in tomorrow.
You're a baller. We don't know your insight.
Mount Pleasant have the cutting edge. Mount Pleasant have the cutting edge, but I think when you coming up against a very good team like Cavaliers who have few individual talent that many people can agree with me that will just open any team on any given day. Look at how Chanel Thomas hold up the ball against Arnett Gardens. Atkinson. Look at how he just individually break down Arnett defensive line in both ties. And then when you look at a Cavalier team, it's like Tapa sometimes it seems like he just don't understand his best possible lineup even up to today. And it's the same thing that happened in the national team. But I think if Tapa make the right decision, there's no way Cavalier can win this game tomorrow. But it's going to be a very close one. Probably call a 1-0 win for Mount Pleasant.
What part of the field do you think he usually makes a mistake, if you don't mind me asking? Is it in the defense, in the midfield, in the attacking?
No, I think it's the midfield area and up in his attacking third. Because look, when you look at the team that, especially I think it was the first leg against Firehouse. I think he go with one of those games. He go with Ramon Owell and Tevin Shaw. I just don't think both players can actually play together. You understand, in terms of a Cavalier team that normally they will sit like a low block, like a mid-low block, but they will catch you in a transition really quick. But if he go with the same double pivot as he went with, Guthrie was in that midfield. A player that I think is much better than both Tevin Shaw and Owell in terms of getting the ball much faster in the attacking third. Just like how, he created moments for Mount Pleasant. And I think if Cavalier sit too deep, look at what Jamaic Topi did. You get what I said? That pass, to, I think it was lead up to the goal. Again, players will step into the their attacking third against Cavalier, but they just cannot give them any space. You understand? So I just think, in the attacking third, midfield and attacking positions for Mount Pleasant, if Tapa can get his selection right, it will be bullseye for them.
I like that. The reason why I asked you the question, because for myself, I feel like the physicality of Mount Pleasant is going to play a role in this game. For the younger, speedier, a little bit lighter, in terms of body weight, pushing their weight around on the field in the Cavaliers players. I feel like the midfield with the captain, Michail, definitely controlling that part of the midfield. The final third in terms of their attacking of Cavaliers is sublime from the right to the left side. But I feel like in that midfield, with the midfield and physicality, that's where the game for me is going to be won or lost.
The physicality of Mount Pleasant, when you look at the Cavalier team, it's not a physical team in terms of height. So I think, that's one of the weapons that Tapa Whitmore have to use tomorrow is set piece, and Cavalier have to be very careful on how they give away, some silly free kicks around the penalty box, because Sule Makala is just a shark in the sea. He sniffed everything, all the dangers, and he nowhere to be. And I think he scored like 7 goals already. And Mount Pleasant will be without Shaquille. I think it's Shaquille Dyer. He picked up a red card in that game against Waterhouse. So that will be a big miss. But one thing, how, Mount Pleasant have to really be careful with Atkinson. They have to learn from what Arnett Gardens did and actually what Waterhouse did. Both teams, Arnett and Waterhouse, like to play with their fullbacks in the attacking third. That's a part of their transition, how they get up the field. If Mount Pleasant do similar things like that, they will be hit in the counter real hard, especially when you have a Sule Makala, who is not that quick like a Atkinson.
I agree.
A Jamaic Topi, once you get Atkinson 1v1 against any one of those players, he will be gone. You understand? So if Tapa maybe can play his wing backs a little bit invert to cover the space, so as soon as that ball get to Calvin, Chanel Thomas, Irving, whatever, Atkinson, they are much closer to them. So they will play. Cavalier will use the wing area a lot. So it's Tapa and always going to break down that that system from Rudolph Speid and force him to go long, force him, because that's not Cavalier game. But if you back off and give them space, they will play a lot of triangles in that attacking third.
Pick you apart. Absolutely pick you apart if you let them play like that. I agree 100%.
Let me just get to the comment section, right? Because some folks are saying Cavaliers for the win. Some are also saying Mount Pleasant. But there's an interesting comment here by Chop 19. He said that Tapper getting the selection wrong, and Ricardo, you touched on that about the selection process for Coach Tapper, right? And I think throughout the season his changes have been quite interesting, right? And the selections he has made, but it shows the quality of this team and the quality of Coach Tapper Whitmore as well, because he's brought him to the final once again. You know what I'm saying? So despite him experimenting, he knows his team well enough to experiment with some of these players in certain positions. But I hear you guys on that. You know, as I said, for me, I'm going with Cavaliers for tomorrow. I think Cavaliers to an extent is kind of the underdog team to a certain extent. So
definitely.
Yeah. I like to go with the underdog team in this thing. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely have to go with Cavaliers, but we can't deny the quality that Mount Pleasant possess. You know, they won the final last year against this Cavaliers team. You know what I'm saying? However, somebody also said that Arnett Gardens will be winning the third place playoff tomorrow. Ricardo, that's your team, so obviously that's good news for you in that regard.
But it's going to be a tough. Every time when we come up against a firehouse team, it's always going to be tough. You know, we beat them 1-0 in a complex, and we drew, which we supposed to beat them. It was a goal that disallowed, but yeah, nevertheless. But we only beat them once. But when you look at our Waterhouse team and how they started the season until right up to probably the last 6 games before playoffs, they haven't won a game back to back. It was that last 5-6 games, a run of games that way they just decided they're just going to win on the bounce. You know, but a team is showing a lot of characters, you know, Javian Bryan, you know, Andre Fletcher, you know, those players, especially the midfield. Whenever there's a Nick Christian Gibbons in the midfield, it's always a lot of creative opportunities for the attacking players, you know. So it's up to all if Water is going to finish the opportunity. Look on the first opportunity in that second leg against Mount Pleasant that Javian Bryan missed. That was the goal that they changed the whole tie, but he missed it. But you know, on team, they will come out a lot hard. They will come out with that emotional. They will come out, you know, wanting to win that game and, you know, prove something to their fans, even though the junglists don't accept anything but winnings. You understand? But something is on the line that need to play for, or we need to go to the Caribbean Cup. That's where a team like Arnett Gardens belongs. You know, always want to play in those competitions, the continental tournaments.
So let me ask you this question surrounding Arnett Gardens before we move on, right? With the departure or the soon-to-be departure of Kahim Dixon, right? What are you feeling surrounding that? Are you in full support of Kahim Dixon leaving the JPL and going to further his career?
Yeah, fully with him. But look, Arnett Gardens have lost probably some talented players over the years, and Arnett Gardens have a football factory over there. The football factory is Charles Smith High School.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, our second to know in the jungle is Trenchtown Rima. You understand? So it doesn't matter if Kahim Dixon, you know, will move, you know, in the summer. Look, I'm going to miss him because you always want the best player, but you can't just be selfish. You have to understand that it's the overseas market. That's where he can take care of his family a lot better and make a lot more progress in his career. But Arnett Gardens will find a next player again, just like how they did with the Gang of Five that came through the ranks from 95, come all the way up, you know, to around 2010. So Arnett Gardens will pass on another youngster again. That's the philosophy over there. You know, youngsters will come through all day long over there in the complex.
Mm-hmm. Professor, if I may add something.
Yeah, Francis, I needed to add something to that as well.
Well, first of all, big up to everybody in the comment section. Gaza King, Max City, Tycoon, Braziliano. Shout out to everybody. Don't forget to hit the like button. But on that note, I believe that Jamon Shepherd.
Yes.
If Arnett don't play through Jamon Shepherd.
Yes.
It's going to be difficult. I mean, he played to me an exceptional game. If him and Dixon had linked up a little bit more, if they had just played through Shepherd, that for me is the key in the midfield. He can handle it. He's running well, but you know, the long ball, play through Shepherd.
Yeah.
Into the final third, give Dixon an opportunity to run onto something.
Yeah.
Give him an opportunity to, instead of picking it up, you know what I mean, in the midfield, play through Shepherd. I think Shepherd is very underrated. He doesn't get a lot of credit for the game that he plays. He controls the game when he has the ball. He makes the right decisions. He doesn't hold on to the ball. He moves the ball. He knock it and move it. That's my assessment. If they play through Shepherd tomorrow, the game is going to be a lot easier.
One of the biggest critique I can give this coach, game management and selection process. And when I said selection, when you look over the years when Jerome Witt have coached this Arnett Gardens team, he makes every individual in that team better. When you look at this Arnett Gardens team, Teagat Davis was the coach before Xavier Gilbert came in. If anyone can name it, which player Xavier and Gilbert have improved since Teagat left, come on in the comment section and tell me which player that Xavier Gilbert improved. You have to set up the Arnett Gardens team individually. Everyone have to have different instructions. And when you have a player like Fabian Reed, Dixon, especially Dixon, you have to create the space for him. Look at how Teacher Hyde have coached that Clarendon team. Every time when Dixon get the ball, he's always 1v1 with someone. And when he's 1v1 with someone, more likely he will take on that challenge and he will be successful. Or it's just the finished product. He just need to put the ball in the back of the net. So he's not creating enough channels for this Arnett Gardens team to run. This Arnett Gardens team is an athletic team. But what he have done is slow the process down, slow the team down. He have to play a lot more quicker on the wings, But nevertheless, we there where we at right now. We have to just accept it and just hopefully third place tomorrow. Nothing. If Waterhouse come and beat Arnett Gardens tomorrow with a scoreline, it's going to be a hell of a decision over there in the jungle coming in following months, because the people will be halfway in the head already.
And let me just add to that. Francis, I needed to talk about Kahim Dixon. So what are your thoughts surrounding Kahim Dixon, the talent that he is, and where do you want to see him? Do you think MLS, Europe, the Portuguese league, Belgium, good developmental league, where do you want to see Kahim Dixon?
I want to see him exhaust his talent. As far as his talent can take him, he should go. So if his talent can take him as far as the MLS, if his talent can take him into Europe, wherever his talent can take him, I think he should explore that option. 100%.
Definitely. And Kahim Dixon across the season, especially since the new year, since the turn of the year, he has expressed himself in terms of leaving the Jamaica Premier League. His agent is currently working on a deal as well. So, as Jamaican fans or as football fans of these players, we have to be patient in terms of to see where Kahim Dixon will end up this upcoming summer. But I see some familiar faces in the comment section. Ballhead TV, big up yourself, or should I say Ballheads TV? My mistake, so let me just correct that. Travis Pessoa, big up yourself as well. Tycoon, big up yourself. Somebody asked Ryan LFC, him debut. You see, through you're getting Pepper left Liverpool, him kind of stressed, so he asked me for just run the show today. You see me, so I could just give Ryan some time for catch back in breath. And the thing is, we have to warn Ryan about, you see the Ballhead manager them from the Dutch league, you have to be very careful of them, because I support United, so I know what it is to have a Ballhead manager, and it's not going to be pretty for Ryan next season. So but who this? Gaza King, big up yourself. Gunners Boss, big up yourself. People, once again, before we get further into the show, smash the like button. Also, do the regular thing. Drop the super chat for Ryan LFC. So people, drop the super chat. You get me as a $5, $10. The Jamaican saying is every mickle make a muckle. So $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6. You get me as a. But people, share thoughts in the comment section surrounding Kahim Dixon. Mr. Jason Gona rolling. Jason, big up yourself. Jason, answer this in the comment section. Who do you want to win the final tomorrow? Cavaliers or Mount Pleasant? Ryan LFC over there dead with laugh. But listen, we need to talk about Coach Heimir Hallgrímsson, right? And Francis, I need to get your general thoughts surrounding Heimir Hallgrímsson, because we're going to really get into Heimir Hallgrímsson today and talk about some things surrounding him, some misconceptions, I should say, surrounding the man from Iceland. What do you think about Heimir Hallgrímsson? I think you're muted, no?
That was for me?
Yeah. What do you think about Heimir Hallgrímsson?
My apologies. As a coach, he's still learning the Jamaican way, Jamaican people. His tactics definitely has to evolve from what he's used to what is in the cupboard. You can't cook with ingredients that you had in the past. You got to cook with the ingredients you have right now. So he has to figure out the best way to utilize the talent that he has with the structure and the system. But it takes a time to learn the Jamaican people. Like one of the things that he said in the interview that was pivotal to me is everything is slower than he's used to.
No, but before I get into the interview, make a hold off on that a little bit,
Okay.
right?
All right.
Yeah, just give me a general thought surrounding before we get into the interview, because that's the most interesting part. And the viewers, answer this in the comment section as well. Did you guys see the interview with Coach Heimir Hallgrímsson? Ryan posted that video today, so hopefully you guys watched it. But go ahead now.
Yeah, I need to see more. I need to see more from him. I'm not so sure yet on what, you know what I mean, if he's able to use the talent that we have and get the best of, you know what I'm saying, what we have. We have a lot of attacking players. We have a lot of players that are playing, you know, overseas that are doing well. I see the results. I see the third place and, you know, in the Gold Cup and so on and so forth. But for me, I need to see more.
So you need to see more.
Yeah.
All right. So you're sitting on the fence a bit. Ricardo, let me hear your thoughts surrounding Heimir Hallgrímsson before we get into the interview.
You know, I think he's still learning that Jamaican philosophy, yeah, and still trying to understanding what are, you know, Jamaican people made up of, you know, until he can really get that around. And I think he's still developing on how to manage these Jamaican players. He have said it, you know, he has said it multiple times in multiple interviews, you know, but I think he's getting better and better. Yeah, and I think coaching Jamaica is bringing a little bit more flexibility to what I have seen over the years with him. You know, you have to be adapt in many different ways. I don't think he ever deal with going to, you know, different countries of different climates and stuff like that. You know, playing in the Gold Cup where you have to travel west, you have to travel east. So yeah, a lot of things, you know, criteria we have to deal with it as a Concacaf coach. But I think it's getting there. It's going to be there sooner or later.
And let me just add to that, right? No, I'm not saying Concacaf is any harder than, you know, CONMEBOL or some of these other respective divisions, right? But I think it's really hard to coach in CONCACAF in terms of the windows that you get with some of these players, the flexibility, the traveling hours with some of these players. And I think every CONCACAF coach can attest to the traveling hours for these players. I know that some of us are not the favorite or biggest fans of Leon Bailey, but when he talks about traveling, it's something that coaches even complain about, that when you get these players, you miss them out for like 1 or 2 days or 1.5 days because the flights are like 10 hours. And in the interview, Coach Heimir Hallgrímsson spoke about the traveling hours with these players, and he was looking forward to the Copa America because essentially he will have these players for 1 month, and he could also use that as a stepping stone to help prepare them for the Nations League that's coming up in September. You know what I'm saying? But let me just pull up the interview on screen, and we'll get into some of the things that Coach Heimir Hallgrímsson had to talk about, because I have a lot of stuff to say surrounding Hallgrímsson. Not only that, but I'm going to also call out someone on this public platform, and it will be Coach Da Costa, because, you know, I've been watching Ryan LFC for a long while now, and I've been watching Coach Da Costa for some time now, and, you know, Coach Da Costa doesn't give any grace to Coach Heimir Hallgrímsson. And I went ahead, he always like to use the word research. He's always telling Ryan to research about Hallgrímsson, talking about Hallgrímsson got fired from his job in Qatar, blah, blah, blah. And there are many misconceptions surrounding it. So I had to do some research, because guess what? Google is free. You know, Coach Da Costa can say anything. But I went ahead, did some research surrounding Heimir Hallgrímsson, and I'm going to dispel some of the lies that Coach Da Costa has been spreading about Coach Heimir Hallgrímsson. So once again, people, smash the like button, come from underneath on a bed. So let's get into it, and let me just pull it up across screen. So, Ricardo, you said you watched the interview, right?
Yeah, I watched it when I saw it on YouTube.
And I think it was like what, 8 minutes? No, 11 minutes, right?
Something like that.
Yeah. What do you think about the interview? Very insightful to you?
Yeah, you know what? It kind of struck me the most when they went away from the field and go in that room when they're talking about positions and
tactical board.
You know, yeah, he has said that coaching the local team, especially 4-4-2, it's just not playing at 4-4-2. It's how he's coaching the local players of just shifting right across the field. You know, the two strikers. It's very important to play at least 5 to 10 yards from each other. You know, so things like that, it really struck me to know that, you know, he's making out a different pathway for the locals to get to understand. Because the 4-4-2 is something that one of the easiest formation, you know, to learn. You understand? It's very easy, but it's very hard to play. Yeah. So as a team, you can just see, it's a 4-4-2, but as a player on the field, man, look, it's easy when you have a coach, that study day in and day out. So it's very important. I was seeing that, and I love the way how he talk about the tactical positions, of that 3-5-2 or whatever, he's going to play.
Yeah. And Francis, what were your thoughts around the interview?
I didn't get a chance to get as far as I got stopped right at the tactical board. But like I said, it was saying in the interview before, he has to get used to a lot of things the Jamaican way. One of the things is, the pace at which Jamaicans move, the way they do things. I think it's one of the things that was kind of a shock to his system, where he might, where he's coming from, where his coach move a lot faster. Jamaica is like, it's gonna happen. Just don't worry about it. Just wait on it. But it's funny. It's funny to say that because the Jamaican fans are not like that, which is kind of crazy. They're like, we want it now. But they're like laid back. So he's trying to figure out the perfect balance, when it comes to that.
Yeah, because football is a results business, and seeing that we have failed to qualify for a World Cup and not do so well in major tournaments, I could imagine Jamaicans would want everything no. And him being from Iceland, he basically said that it's a bit more laid back in Iceland in terms of the progression of certain things. But there were some key things he said in this interview, right? And there's one key word he used in this interview in the 11 minutes in the 11 minutes of the interview, and it's that Jamaicans. Well, the one word is, I think it was individualistic, right, or individualism. And he mentioned that by stating that Jamaicans, especially in football, were very individual in terms of how we play defensively. One man just want to run out and tackle a man. You see me? It's never about how we as a unit can be compact to close down spaces, to close down the channels. One man in the midfield have to take the ball, dribble everybody, then go score. The striker, he have to dribble out everyone. He have to pass to the striker or the winger. He doesn't want to pass. And Heimir Hallgrímsson touched on that. But one thing I want to say about Heimir Hallgrímsson and his position at the JFF, or as the coach for the Reggae Boyz, I do not think his position is just about the Reggae Boyz, because when he talks for me, he's talking about more like a philosophy of all the respective teams in the national program, where if the senior team plays like this, then it should trickle down to the under-21s, under-17s, under-15s, whatever the case is, because this is the natural progression. Because when the 2026 World Cup comes, and these players eventually fade out, you need a next crop for 2030, you need a next crop for after that, and you have to implement a philosophy. And what's one thing we as Jamaicans complain about? We do not have a philosophy. What's the one thing any coach can say about Jamaica when they play? The first thing them say, we play long ball. Long ball now go win a game. Long ball now go bring it deep in competitions. You know them way there. But let me just read out some things surrounding Coach Heimir Hallgrímsson, right? Because I wrote them down. Because Coach Da Costa said people must go and do them research, so I wrote them down on paper, right? So the first thing is there's a misconception surrounding his position when he was with Iceland, right? And he said, well, Coach Da Costa has been, ranting about how he did not bring them to the World Cup. The only thing he said that was correct was that he was the assistant with Lagerbäck when Lagerbäck was the Icelandic coach. Lagerbäck brought them to the Euros of 2016, right? However, he got a job with Norway, and after that, Coach Heimir Hallgrímsson, after the Euros, he became the head coach of Iceland. Now, let me just read out some things. Let me make sure I'm on the right page. Let me see now. So in 2011, right, he was appointed the assistant coach of Iceland alongside Lagerbäck. Cool. Now, after that, he became sole coach following the Euro in 2016, taking Iceland to the World Cup in 2018. And if you look at the games, the qualifying games leading up to the World Cup of 2018, the head coach was Heimir Hallgrímsson. So there's no question as to who was the head coach for that Icelandic team. And before I even progress further, Coach Da Costa is saying, the team was already there, whatever the case is. Let me tell you this. You could bring in any manager with Manchester City next season. If they're not good, they will not progress with this current crop of City players, right? So no matter if the team is good, you have to be a good coach in order to progress with the team. When De Zerbi went to Brighton, the foundation was already laid, but he could have went there and he could have messed up the foundation. You know what I'm saying? However, he was good enough to add to that Brighton team and continue in a natural progression. When David Moyes got the United job, it was the perfect job for David Moyes in the sense that he could have brought in young players with the senior players, have a good mixture, and then gradually move on the real friend and can't remember his last name is pronounced, but he could have gradually moved on Rio and the scores and some of these guys the way and Rio the Robin Van Persie. However, he didn't. David Moyes just came in and wanted to move forward everybody after they won the English Premier League. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? So when Coach Da Costa talk about say, oh, a man just get the team and the team did already good. No, you can't just put it like that. The man end up bring them to the World Cup of 2018, which was the first in their history. Now, before I get you guys and any thoughts around it, let me just read out some more stuff because I did some extensive research. Now, he said that he was fired from, what the club name? Al Arabi in the Qatar Soccer League, something like that he called. However, he was appointed in 2018 as the head coach of Al Arabi in Saudi Arabia, right? He spent 2.5 years there, leaving in the summer of 2021. Now, there are 12 teams in the Qatar League, right, Ricardo? And that research, the league positions when Heimir Hallgrímsson was there, they finished 7th, 6th, and 7th in the 2.5 years he was there. He was appointed in December of 2018. So basically, half the season, man of the team, right? In a league that is with only 12 teams. Now, what Heimir Hallgrímsson did, what Coach Da Costa failed to mention to the people, he was the first coach to bring Al Arabi to the, where is it? Let me just find it here, so. He was the first coach to bring them to the Amir Cup final for the first time since, for the first time since 1994, Ricardo. But Coach Da Costa talk about research, but he's not telling the people the full information. He's not telling them the league position. And what I will say, after he departed Al Arabi, they went on to do a bit better. They finished in like 4th. After he departed in 2020, 2021, no, 21, 22, 22, 23, and 23, 24, they relatively finished in the top 4 of the Qatar League. So, Ricardo, let me get your thoughts surrounding Heimir Hallgrímsson, because there's a big misconception surrounding the coach as if he's not good. You know, a lot of us here are questioning the capabilities of Hallgrímsson. What do you think about Hallgrímsson? What do you think since I've read this information?
You see that spell he had at Al Arabi in the Qatar League. You know, you have said 7, and I think he finished 4th, but he never managed to get in the Asian Champions League. Which was the aim. But again, when you look on where the club was at the time, that would have been a big win for them. That's like get into the continental tournament in Asia. That would have been like they win the league. So what he have done there, he have changed the philosophy. He have changed the mentality of how people look at Al Arabi. The perspective of this team always down in the bottom. So he have go there and he have did a really good job. And also, what he have done in that Argentina game, he have won all Icelandic people. So I don't think he's that bad of a coach. That's what people are saying. It's just that when you go from Iceland to Jamaica, it's a lot of stuff that you have to put in perspective that you have to adapt to. So he's in the job for like probably a year now. Something like that,
year and more.
He have played his first competitive game last year, March, in the Nations League against Mexico. So look on where we had, finished semi-final in the Gold Cup, semi-final in the Nations League, and now, you have qualified for the Copa. Not just qualified for the Copa, but he have erased Canada home record at BMO Field. That's not many coach can. Also, I think Mexico's last team. That beat them there in a competitive game. So, kudos, man. He's getting better, but, people have to be careful on how they really critique, the manager, for the Reggae Boyz.
And let me tell you, Francis, before I get involved, right? The league positions for Hallgrímsson at Al Arabi, they were in 2018, 2019, 6th, 2019, 2020, 7th, and 2020, 2021, 7th. And Ricardo, just to add to that, right, before I get Francis involved in the conversation, you see, I saw a comment just now where somebody said Da Costa never say he was the worst coach or whatever, but he's not the best man for the job. But my question to that person who left that comment, or even to Da Costa as well, who is the best man? You have somebody who brought Iceland to their first World Cup in the history. The population of Iceland is less compared to Jamaica, right? They went to the World Cup in 2018. He left. He went to Qatar, finished 6th, 7th, and 7th. Brought them to a cup final for the first time since 1994. But Da Costa is not talking about that. So where's the evidence that Da Costa can present to say that Hallgrímsson is the right man for the job? You have somebody we didn't get invited to the Copa America. We qualified to play in the Copa America, right? So it's not no invitation we get. So we qualify. We beat Canada at BMO Field. What was it? 3-2? Something like that? Yeah. Shaman Nicholson coming up with the big goals, right? We moved up in our CONCACAF rankings, I believe, as well as the FIFA rankings. You know what I'm saying? I think what we have to use to judge Coach Heimir Hallgrímsson are the upcoming games in the World Cup qualifiers. You know what I'm saying? Because essentially the goal is to get back to 2026. So we can't just sit down here and bash the man. Yes, the team can be improved, but we have to critique him by assessing him fairly. Now, Francis, give me, since I've read this information surrounding Hallgrímsson, right? Are you in agreement that he's not the right man for Jamaica?
Now, I'm going to start off by saying this. I don't really like talking about someone when they're not here so that they can give their opinion. But
no, we're not.
I know. I'm going to tell you. I've been on record. I've been on record saying that I believe that Coach Grimson can do better with the system and the structure. You said,
let me stop you there. Better in what sense?
I'm going to explain. Based on what you said in previous, you made a point that he said in the interview that the players want to take individual challenges when he's trying to get a team structure together.
Mm-hmm.
That's where, for me, the system and the structure needs to come in place. That happens on the training pitch. He has to be able to get through the players that they can understand the system he's trying to play, the structure he's trying to play with, and do just that. The fact that that is not happening, he can't get that to happen, shows me that his system and structure needs to be better. That's from my standpoint. That's how I see it. And that's how I look at it. The stuff that he's done in the past is what he's done in the past, but the ingredients he has now, the talent that he has now, getting them to work together and play together, the system that he's putting in place, he has to do a better job of getting through to the players that, listen, it's not an individual thing. And it starts from the training pitch. You can't do this in live games and try to make these adjustments in live games. This has to happen on the training pitch.
But hold on. So you're saying he's not allowed to make adjustments when the game is playing?
No. The adjustments are allowed to be made during the game. But I believe that these structural issues and system issues need to be ironed out. They need to be concrete from the training pitch and from the meeting room.
But so to say something, right? He said that the players are receptive to what he's doing. So, yes, the team can be improved, but he also touched on the fact that, if you look at the FIFA window, they're not allowed a lot of time with the players.
But
that's why he's looking.
Why are they still taking on challenges on the pitch when they're not supposed to? Why are they still going outside of the system? They're breaking the form to go do an individual tackle, or they're breaking the form instead of knocking the ball. They're doing individual dribble. That means that they're not listening.
Who are you talking about? Damien?
Not anybody. Anybody that's doing that. That means they're not listening to the coach. He can't say they're listening, but the proof is live in front of us. They're not keeping the shape because you're going outside of you're making individual moves by yourself outside of the shape of the team. Do you understand what I'm saying? If the shape is supposed to be a square, and you decide that, man, that tackle looks really good, I'm gonna go out and do it, you're breaking the shape. That means that you're not doing exactly what the coach is asking to be done, so that the results can be happen on the pitch. That means you're doing your own thing. That's how I look at it.
I hear you on that, right? But we're gonna have a discussion surrounding this because, listen. I'm not gonna ask you to name a game where we didn't play well, because there are a lot of games we didn't play well. However, we got the result, right? But wouldn't you say that there's something within this team where they're actually listening and we're seeing the results? We saw the result against Canada. We almost saw the result against the United States of America, right? Unlucky that Corey Burke scored the one goal. And then we played well against Panama to an extent. It's a bogey team of ours. However, we beat Panama, right? So obviously there's proof in the pudding. So what are you saying?
For me, as a student of the game, the results on the scoreboard, for me, is one. But that's not the biggest factor, because that can change at any time. Whether it's 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, 3-1, 2-2, 3-2, that can change at any time. It starts from the structure, because as you play better, talented teams, you're going to be exposed, and it's going to show on the scoreboard. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you're winning. You're getting the results on the scoreboard, but what we're looking at on the pitch is not coming together. It's not reflecting what's on the scoreboard. The scoreboard might be a ball bouncing the right way and a player get a good shot on it. Boom. It's score. Like, give you an example. Cavaliers, Reed got a good bounce. He hit the volley. Boom, it scored. There's things like that happen in football. But the lead-up play to it, the connection play to it is very, very important, especially when you're playing good quality teams.
But let me ask you a question, right? In order to play good quality teams, don't you think it comes down to the availability of players? Because against the United States, we didn't have Shamar Nicholson, we didn't have Michail Antonio, we didn't have Demarai Gray. I think two of them were suspended. Michail Antonio pulled out because of an injury. Now, there's one issue with this Reggae Boyz team, which is the midfield. And I think because of the lack of quality in the midfield, it doesn't allow us to play us as, I wouldn't say expansive, because I don't think Coach Heimir Hallgrímsson is that expansive. Because in the interview that he just did, he spoke about, if you look across the globe, he doesn't feel like coaches are really teaching defenders how to defend really well, and you see that across even in the top leagues in terms of body position, as well as players understanding the role of what it is to be a defender. But don't you think it comes down to better quality players that can evolve this Reggae Boyz team so the system can be better? Because we don't really have anyone in the midfield in terms of, we don't have a set defensive midfielder, we don't have a real attacking number 10 that can create chances. So it's hampering Coach Heimir Hallgrímsson and the team. That's why he has to be flexible. What do you think?
I'm going to answer this like straight down to the point. The system and structure, you should be able to plug in. Now, you have individual talented players that make your system greater. It makes it better based off their natural ability, based off their football IQ. They make the people beside them better. But the system and the structure, if you play with the system and the structure of the coach, you should get a result. You should.
But aren't we getting results?
No, on the scoreboard, but the footballing on the pitch. I'm looking at the game on the pitch, like how they're playing together on the pitch. That matters, because I said as you play different teams, it will show. It will show. So it's, for me, the players are gonna do the individual thing. You know what I mean? The 1v1s that they get, obviously from player to player, talent to talent, that we know that changes. You understand? But the system of which they're playing, whether it's a 4-4-2 and doing exactly what the coach wants them to be done, needs to be in place so that when you have the better players and they come in, it's a greater result. You're going to get a result, but you want a greater result. The system should give you a result regardless of who's on the pitch. Because there's a lot of teams out there, a lot of countries that don't have a lot of talented players, but they have good system and structure. And it shows in their football. It shows how they play together on the pitch.
But Francis, I think he mentioned that in the interview. That's why he used the word that Jamaicans are individualistic in terms of their approach, in terms of playing football. And you know,
him.
Well, listen.
Sorry.
The guy asked him about the team, right? In terms of not the team, he asked him about the upcoming games in the Copa America, Venezuela, Ecuador, and Nicaragua. I want you to add on to this, right? Because you're familiar with these teams. So Mexico, who are the top seeded team in that group, Venezuela and Ecuador. So the guy asked him about what are the chances of Jamaica going through, and you know what he said? He pointed out that, listen, you see those three teams are cohesive. He mentioned that they don't have the best, like they don't have star players like how Jamaica have. You know, we have a couple star players. We have Michail Antonio, Demarai Gray, Leon Bailey, some other guys. If you look at Venezuela, Ecuador, I mean 1 and 2 star players, right? But if you look at a lot of these Concacaf teams and teams in CONMEBOL and some other regions, these teams, they have a team, actually. A team. So it's not like only one man that transcends the team. It's a cohesive unit. So I think Coach Heimir Hallgrímsson is trying to get that with this team. He doesn't just want it to come down to individual brilliance or Leon Bailey just dribbling down the field and beating everybody and going to score. He wants everybody to defend as a unit, the defense, the midfield, and the attacking players as well, because the first line of defense is attack. You have to press from the attacking three. You know what I'm saying? To wing back position of the ball to go and impose yourself on the opponents. Now, Ricardo, let me get your thoughts on Hallgrímsson stating that he needs the team to play a bit more cohesive, and him talking about a lot of these countries don't have star players. What do you think?
Yeah, you know, he's right. You know, most of these countries like Venezuela, Ecuador, you know, they don't have a lot of star players, yeah. But what they have with more than us, yeah, they have a lot more young players that grew up in an academy structure that they develop way better than what is back home in Jamaica. So when I look on it, if Hallgrímsson need a player right now, you know where he's going to have to go? Overseas. He can't look in the JPL. But guess what? If Felix Sanchez, the Ecuadorian coach, needs someone, he can easily go in LDU, Quito, you know, Barcelona, the Ecuadorian Barcelona, Emelec, Independiente Valiente, that who have 10 players in the last World Cup squad that develop under their structure. You know, so they have a lot more deep a pool to choose from with local players. You understand? So when you look at Heimir Hallgrímsson, to choose from, people might think, it's a big pool, but look, bro, if he's going to go locally and choose, those players are not good enough at the moment. They don't develop as the way the South American develop. Look, Kendrick Paez is 17. They have another young 17-year-old in the guns for Barcelona. He played 3 seasons already in the South American League in Ecuador. 3 seasons, and he's just 17. He's a striker. His first name is Allen. You understand? So when you look at that, Paez have 2 full seasons as a professional. Look at Dixon. Dixon don't even know where the level of playing Copa Libertadores. So you understand? So those players will be a lot more structured, properly growing up in the Ecuadorian system. Look at what Antonio Valencia is doing with his own team in Ecuador. It's a combined thing. Yeah, and guess what? Most of those players grew up in the altitude. So they are much sharper, they are much fitter than us, they are more prepared. So they have a lot more to choose from. So yeah, their team is going to be a lot more better individually, not in terms of star players. You understand? We have star players that played in the big league. But guess what? Because they're not in a system where it's fruitful for the Jamaica national team. We just went there and picked up them because guess what? They have Jamaican roots. And I'm happy for that. But what you have to do is you have to build a strong philosophy that is going to grind with the local players and grind with the overseas players. So both talents of players that grow up differently can merge together so they can play the Jamaican way. And the Jamaican way is athleticism, playing very aggressive, play to our strength, getting the ball in the channels, and each and every player should having their own individual instructions. And that's how we can go ahead and try to conquer some of these not bigger countries, but well more organized structured system.
That's exactly what that's exactly you just said my entire point right there. Structure. This system and structure, and it starts from the youth football. It has to be structured because you have a lot of these teams they don't have individual talent like Jamaica, but they've been in the structure so long that when they go up to the senior team, they play together.
Yeah,
they play together. A structured system, so they look good. They look like the individual they can play. They do.
The thing. These countries, especially Mexico. Mexico have been one of the top teams in the Olympic football. You understand? So if you look over the years, look at that team that beat Brazil, the Mexican national team. I think it was in Wembley, somewhere in London. Look at that team. How many of those players actually graduate to the first team? 2011. When Alvas Powell, Zelana Barnes, these players, Jason Wright, how many of those players gradually integrate into the senior team? It's just 1 or 2 of them. Omar Ones, where is that? The captain, one of our biggest future in the midfield. So, things like that. And look at what they do with Janual. He is the second for Hallgrimsson. Why you take away him from the youth structure? A man that would know exactly what Hallgrimsson want from a young player to get into the senior team. So when you look at that, the whole system is just broken. Craig Butler come here, and talk about it every day. The Belgium team is just one philosophy. Come right up to the youth, to the senior team. You understand? So until we can, actually do something like that, like, look, it doesn't matter who we're going to get in England. Once they come, it's a system and they understand it. And they have to learn it. They have to adapt to it.
To add to that, Ricardo, Presser, to add to that, I'm going to say this, okay? Heavy is the head that wears the crown. If Coach Hallgrimsson pick up the job and he sees potential, he has to know what he's working with. He has to know that he has to go around the world and get these players and try to put the team together. And it doesn't work or it's not working. He has to. Who else we going to blame?
It's hard.
No, but hold on. No,
It's
hold on. No,
It's hard. But that
hold on. Let me just say this. Cause Big Deal and make a great point. I think Big Deal and Big Deal and say great structure, but it take time, right? And Spain Town General, big up yourself. People, once again, smash the like button. We just check the likes. We have 219 viewers, right? 161 likes. Don't run for the thing. Come from underneath on a bed or wherever on a deck and smash the like button. Also, if you're new, subscribe. You get me? I say, Spain Town General says system begins from youth. And I think that's what Coach Heimir Hallgrímsson is stressing. Now, not that the youth has anything to do with the senior team, because we have the Copa America and the World Cup qualifying games coming up.
It has to be something with the senior team.
Has to.
Eventually, in the future. No, I'm saying, natural progression. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying at this moment in time, he has to figure it out with the senior team while it trickles down to the youth team. But he mentioned that for natural progression into the future, it has something to do with the senior team. But what I'm saying, Francis, you mentioned about players, right? He has tried so many players, especially in the midfield area. I don't think Coach Heimir Hallgrímsson has ever had his best team to play against opponents. You know what I'm saying? Either due to suspension, either due to injuries, or it comes down to recruitment as well. We're trying our best to recruit players, but we don't know the passport situation with some of these guys already. A lot of them, they want to play for Jamaica, but the passport situation is just frustrating. So it's not like he's not trying to recruit. They've went across the globe recruiting players. We have Omar Hutchinson, who can possibly be on the brink of representing us at our official tournament, right? We hear the Morgan Gibbs White links and a lot of these players. But I think in that sense, put those players aside, we have to be patient with them. So now we have to figure out what's going on. But you talk about system and structure, right? If you look at the system and the structure of this team, were you pleased with how we played in the Nations League against Canada, against United States, despite the loss, and against Panama? What was your assessment?
Who was that for?
Francis.
Was I pleased?
Yeah.
Not 100%.
So what percentage?
Pardon me?
What percentage were you pleased?
I'd say 60-40. 60-40. But you got to remember something. 60-40 because of where we're coming from. You see, I want to win. Let me get that straight. I want to win, but I don't want a 98 to 22 and a half decades before we win again. You get what I'm saying? It can't be that long before we win again, or even think about winning again. Like the structure, it got to start from somewhere. So, yes, Coach Hallgrímsson, he has a job, and if he can do it, good. Remember, you got from youth football coming up, the indisciplined style of play when it comes to football. It's gonna trickle into your later years. These club teams have to change the way these players play, so it can be appetizing to the team. You understand? But all right, let's talk about structure, right? Yeah, go ahead. Structure for me, it also entails flexibility, right? So in terms of the game against Canada, the first leg at the National Stadium, yeah, we should have beat them, right? However, we went to Canada. I'm not gonna lie, Andre Blake, I know that Damian Lowe and Shamar Nicholson had a wonderful game, but Andre Blake kept us into that game, right? Because he made some big saves, because Canada had some shots in front of goal which they should have scored, right? However, we won that game against the United States. Hold on there for 1 second. Yeah. How much times are we gonna rely on the goalkeeper to save us from getting? No, me not like when you say that, man. Me not like when you say that, because the goalkeeper is a part of the team. He's a part of the 11-man squad. But listen to your statement. All right, let me ask you a question then. Look how much team rely upon a striker to save them. What you gonna say? What? Look how much team rely upon. Look how Manchester United. Look how much time rely upon Bruno Fernandes to save us. He's a part of the team. So what's this thing about? Oh, how much time the goalkeeper to save us? It's his job to stop shots. That means that your defense is failing. That you have a leak. Well, that is true. Sometimes you can be over reliant. No, that is true. I agree. Sometimes you can be over reliant on your goalkeeper or defenders, because my team United a couple years ago were over reliant on David De Gea to the point where he had some of the most saves in the Premier League. Right? We've seen that. But against better oppositions, to an extent, you are going to have eras in a game where teams are preparing you with shots, whatever the case is. But you have to be flexible in terms of how you work against it. You know what I'm saying? But okay, let's move past the Canada game, right? Mm-hmm. Andre Blake is a part of the team. Whatever, we won that game. United States, a very depleted team. No Demar Gray, no Shamar Nicholson, Michail Antonio suspended, no Leon Bailey. Who did we play in the midfield again, Ricardo? Was it Casey Palmer and Damon Lowe? Yeah, I know Casey Palmer was there. I think Bobby Reed was somewhere around there. And it was a 3-4-3, right? If I'm correct, yeah. 3-4-3.
Okay, Francis, you talk about structure, whatever the case is. Yeah, we lost the game 3-1. But what were your thoughts surrounding the structure of that team in that game? Because we kept ourselves in the game until Korberg scored the one goal.
100%. Now, playing a team like US that wasn't their strongest team, we still struggled to put the ball in the net.
No, but we were not playing like that to give us the chance, because we had a more depleted squad than the USA. The USA had Hadji Wright, Christian Pulisic, even I think Jerry played that game. What's the next one? Tyler Adams played that game, I believe, as well. You know what I'm saying?
Sorry, go ahead. My bad.
If you look at the strength of their bench in extra time, they had quality players coming off the bench. So it's not like we could have played expansive against the United States to allow us to score more goals. Sometimes when you play against better oppositions, the few chances you have to make use of them. I think it was Greg Lee or one of those players after we scored the first goal, we had a next chance to bury the United States as well, in which we didn't. Go ahead now.
You have to trust, again, in your football structure, your system that you have, whether you're depleted or not. You understand? You can't expect to play defensive football. I think it was Danny Dredd that said it the other night. Like the good fortunes of football always, it doesn't fall in the favor of the teams that are not as good as they should be.
Big up Danny Dredd.
I might be misquoting it, but we can't rely on just the ball bouncing in the right direction, the right counter attacking. You know what I mean? To get our one or two chances, the coach had to come with a better system. The system has to be better, to where you go out there, you're depleted, the other team is depleted, but you still have to play the game as if you want to win. You can't start out playing the game as if like let's be safe. Yeah, you got to be safe. Your defense got to be, structured correctly, but then you got to take your chances. You can't say, oh my God, we got our own goal by Corey. Oh my God, no. That's you can't just look at that. There's other parts of the game that led to that. That if the chances were taken when they got them, or the opportunities to attack the team that we felt it was was depleted, they definitely were depleted. You have to take
Ricardo, you want to add to that?
Start the game defensive. Go ahead, sorry.
No,
finish. After that, Ricardo can. All right, Ricardo, go ahead.
I have something that I want to say. One of the comment that you just pull up. What United said, that he prefer winning over whatever structure, whatever. If you could,
I think Ricardo, you mute. Yeah, Francis, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I think Ricardo went on mute.
Yeah, Ricardo, your thing trip out. Can't hear Ricardo. Can't hear. Yeah, Francis, go ahead. Ricardo,
yeah, so I'm saying the opportunities. You can't be like, oh, I'm saying, we're depleted, so we're gonna rest on our laurels. We're gonna play defensive. We're gonna play back. No, we gotta believe in what we got. We gotta believe in going out there and winning the game. That's important. You can't say, oh, that team is stronger than us, so you're beating yourself before you even start the game. You're already down a goal before you even start the game because you feel like that team is stronger. You should always go in the game expecting to win, even if the team is stronger. You can't go in with a losing mindset. You got to go in with a winning mindset. Do you agree or disagree?
No, I agree, but I think against the United States, we went in to win that game despite the casualties that we had. I think against Panama, we went in to win that game. Against Canada, we went in to win that game. I mean, Coach Heimir Hallgrímsson made a change in the second half against Canada. If that doesn't show you that we wanted to win the game, especially without Damian Lowe played, I don't know what to tell you. Because Damian Lowe was essentially the key piece in midfield that was winning the ball high up the pitch to eventually get to Shamar Nicholson, and we scored. Despite the threat of Canada in that game, we still went out to win that game with the changes that Coach Heimir Hallgrímsson made to that team in the second half. You know what I'm saying? Against the United States, you have to look at the chances that we didn't take in isolation. And I think it was just one chance after we scored the first goal that we didn't take. Coach Heimir Hallgrímsson, it's hard for him to control what a player is going to do with how him finish a chance. You get me? I say, what Coach Heimir Hallgrímsson can do is set the team right, that the team creates enough chances that there's a higher possibility of scoring more than one goal. But against the United States, we all know the team that we were sending out. Once again, no Leon Bailey, no Shamar Nicholson, no Demar Gray, no Michail Antonio. It was a real depleted squad. However, what we saw was that defensively against United States, the likes of Joel Latibodier, as well as who has played in the back line? Oh my God, can't forget already. Yeah. Joel Latibodier played in that back line. Who else played in that back line? Because I can't remember. Andre Blake, obviously the goalkeeper. Jano. Ricardo, who played at the back line again? Can't remember. Can you, Ricardo? Francis, remember who played in the back line against the United States? Latibodier. Latibodier. Who else?
Maybe
Michael
someone,
Hector.
maybe
Michael
someone in the
Hector.
comment section can tell us.
Michael Hector, Latibodier, and somebody else. Now you're Ricardo. Now you're mic muted. Latibodier, Michael Hector, and somebody else playing at the back three there. Jano. Oh.
Somebody said Hector.
Yeah, man, I think I remember who. Bernard, Dujuan Bernard, Latibodier, and Michael Hector. That was the back three, right? And they were compact. And then we had the wing backs in Greg Lee and Dexter Lambikisa, who played well. Dexter Lambikisa went on to score the winning goal against Panama. So defensively, that structure is right. You know what I'm saying? Midfield wise, we're still trying to figure it out. I think every coach that has ever coached Jamaica, they're trying to figure out the midfield in terms of what we need in that midfield. Obviously, we know what we need, but we need the players. So we have to ramp up our recruitment in terms of getting those players. And the attacking forefront in terms of the front three, I think it can be better because in moments, I think it comes down to individual brilliance. And Demar Gray has been the shining light in that front three. So in that aspect, I think there's room for improvement in the team. But I think there's a structure within the team, Francis.
Tell me the structure.
I just told you. The strongest point of the team, I think, is defense. The second strongest part of the team, I think, is the front three, right? And the weakest link, I think, is the midfield.
But that's always been Jamaica's always been strong defensively. Always. But we have a generation of attacking players that are coming into the system, that are coming into the team, that it needs to be altered. It needs to be changed. To, again, get the strengths of what we have, because that's a system that we've had for years. We've always been strong defensively. Always. And we'll continue to be strong defensively because that's our style of football. But now we need to add the other ingredients into it. We have midfield wingers and attackers that we need to put them in the best possible positions based on the structure and the system to excel, to do the best they can, to get the results. So we don't have to be in fear of, we're playing a team that's stronger than us. No, we know what we got.
Stick up in quickly. The people that want a call in.
The number's right there.
No, remember, say Ryan at the boat, so I'm not having phone. But people, I'm going to set that up quickly. However, just give me 1 second.
I want to add to something, Pressa.
1 second. Let me just do something quickly. Wait there. John, let me just go to a quick advertisement break. 1 second.
Island Best Juice. What are you waiting on? Check them out on Instagram and Facebook. Island Best Juice. It's your boy, Ryan LFC, representing for Island Best Juice. If you are in the United States and you not try Island Best Juice, what you waiting on? Look at these beautiful flavor. Why not? If you are in Tampa, if you are in Florida, if you not drink Island Best Juice, you not drink the juice. It's your boy Ryan LFC, representing for Island Best Juice, the best juice in Florida. What you waiting on? Anyway, across the United States, Highland Best Juice can find you. If they find me and me all the way in Canada, why not? Check them out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere they are. Island Best Juice.
Alright, people. Island Best Juice. If you're not drink Island Best Juice, you're not drink no juice. So, make we continue. Ricardo, what do you want to say?
No, let me say, look, people have to understand, look, you say winning is one, that's the ultimate goal. But at the end of the day, how long can you strive on something that is broken, bro? This is what,
Thank you.
Concacaf, Mexico is the big dog. You get what I say? Look, Mexico used to go to all these major tournaments. Mexico having last out to an Olympic qualification for a while, bro. Why do you think Mexico even missed out on a U20 World Cup the other day? Is it U20 when I think Guatemala beat them when DR beat us in the quarterfinals. Why are you thinking of them things happen to Mexico? Because their system and the old structure, they stop taking care of their youth academies. They look into South America. They look into Central America to get better players. They used to bring through their young players, and it's a problem now. And that is their system. That was their system from the get-go. Bring through the best youngsters. Go to all the best youth tournaments in the world. And what happened? Mexico, I get them face kick off left, right, and center. And when them a win, bro, look how much time Panama get them faces for kick off. Reggae Boyz have a broken system. At times, it's like it's impossible to beat them. No. We can't beat them, Presta, but with the whole system, bro, we understand, say, winning is the goal, but again, you have to have something that you can balance the ship with, brother.
All right, 1 second. Which is the 3-4-3 formation? 1 second. All right, people, the calling number. Anybody who want calling on WhatsApp. The calling number is +1 803 235 7127. So once again, 803.
Yeah, put it in the comment section.
I'm pinning.
All right, 1 second. 803.
I understand, bro.
Continue. Somebody pick up.
Finish what you were saying before, Nakar. Go ahead.
Nah, bro, but it's true, bro. Like Mexico, they even met the Olympic. They might missed out on youth tournaments because the system is broken now that they just cannot rely on talent. It's just not going to carry through. And look at what they're doing now. Look what Jamie Lozano, he has replaced some big names from out of that squad. He's trying to develop a younger, fresh Mexican team, players that are willing to learn. It's like these players know they just don't want to listen. They don't want to learn. And tactically, Mexico was one of the best teams in the region. No, tactically, they're poor. They're poor, brother. Look at what Qatar done to them. One shot against them in the World Cup, and they lost that game. If they had probably another quality team that was on farm, they probably would have get knocked out of the group stage in the World Cup. And you'd have said, whoa, a Mexico team got knocked out of the group stage in a World Cup. That ever happening? So, that's why we keep emphasizing on, the structure, bro. The structure needs to be there so the ship can ride the waves in the ocean a little smoother. We're not saying nothing which is rocket science, brother.
Not at all.
We're not saying nothing with rocket science. So we have to develop our own chemistry. I will not say we will follow Mexico, but
no,
they are one of the top teams, but you can peep over the fence and look what they are doing wrong.
No, we should feast today and fast tomorrow. I don't believe in that.
Yo, people, the calling number is on screen, so whoever want to call in on about that, wasting time now.
Is it WhatsApp and straight call?
Yeah, WhatsApp, just WhatsApp.
Just WhatsApp.
Yeah. So people, once again, smash the like button, come from underneath in the bed. Yo, people, not because Ryan is not here means only enough to drop a super chat, Make us see a super chat on the board. So what have a caller? Yo, bless up caller. There. Tennessee, 1 second. Let me see if the people that might hear you. People, now hear Tennessee talk.
Yeah, man.
Man.
All right, got you.
We're going on 50-50. One challenge going to you two co-hosts because me and them say some things where we can't agree with brother.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. So they want to Jamaica to play not structure and Jamaica to play a good brand of football. All right. I put it to you, say El Salvador and Guatemala play a better brand of football than Jamaica. For many years. From the time I watch football. But Guatemala and El Salvador win anything?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. And your co-host make a point say when Jamaica did qualify for the I think at the under 17 World Cup or the under 20, it's only Alba Spawn and maybe one other player comes through. But all much of those players went on to play professional football. So you have to put player in a team. You put player in a senior team just because they play in under 17 a World Cup. You understand? Them not have to make that progression there. See? And play professional football, so they can advance to the senior team. But you can't just put them in a team just because they play in an under 17 or under 20 World Cup. You understand? So we have a blame for that. In JFF are the players themselves.
Did you watch the interview with I think with Andre Blake when he was saying that look in the MLS they help push their player through with agency and marketing and try to get the players into the best youth academies?
So what are we advocating for? To push JPL players through now?
Not JPL players. I'm saying the young players.
Like who?
They have even do that a lot.
So you're talking like a Kahim Dixon?
As possible.
So you're talking like Kahim Dixon or Whisper?
No, Tennessee.
Whisper don't make already, you know.
Under
Kahim
17,
Dixon on the move, you know.
Under
17, the players that play for Jamaica under 17, under 20 team, those players. If they can play if they can put the shirt on, that means they have some type of quality. Some type of quality.
So all right. You know, that all right. Why we not take youth football too serious? Because many youth teams, even win a World Cup, and not one of them players come through to the senior team. I know with Jamaica alone that happen. But
let me say this, right? Because we see the recent under 17 thing, and what was the next team we did play and Saudi Arabia beat them up? I did under 17 or under 18? Under 18. But listen, we see in the past how we failed to qualify for tournaments with under 17 and the under 18 team and under 21s and etc. Right? Now the thing is, we are trying to get players from overseas who can come into the system that is better than some of these players to help them. You get me? I say, that's why some people don't believe in the quota system, right? Me believes that to an extent, maybe for one of the youth team, them maybe a quota system should be in place, but maybe like under 15 or something like that. You get me? I say, but like under 17 go up, me feel like you must select the best players from the diaspora as well as locally. You get me? I say, so me not want to be a case where we just push through local players, because guess what? The under 17 World Cup is going to be held every year, and that is something on the JFF agenda that they want to qualify the players for, so that a natural progression can be had, that these players can step up going forward. You get me? So because then you get experience, you know. So we have to select the best players. So me not agree with Francis when him say and Nicardo when they must say
can I explain?
We need to promote them like. How?
Can I explain? Hold on. Let me explain real quick. Hold on.
Francis want to go through Tennessee.
Wait, let me explain real quick. The youth are the future of tomorrow. Period. So you have to find a way to better your youth, whether it's in education, whether it's in a career that's not football. You have to find a way to better your youth. That's how your structure, your financial structure, your environmental structure is going to be better, by giving the youth an opportunity to be better. So you have to find a way to improve the youth. You can't be looking outside when you give them something that they can improve with. They're not all going to make it through, but that's the only way you're going to know. Some are early bloomers, some are late bloomers. But without an opportunity, we're picking and refusing based on what we have. That's why the JPL it's an older league. It's an older league because we're not believing in the youth. They got to give them a chance. And it starts from the structure.
But let me ask you this question, Tennessee, before we go forward. This thing, right? Where's the onus on the JPL clubs to help develop the youths? Because we see the Cavaliers of the world, and a lot of these clubs send players overseas, and the same players come back to Jamaica and say them never prepared. So whilst we can blame the JFF to a level where the structure and infrastructure isn't right, the JFF is not the richest federation for go all across Jamaica and get all of the money for develop fields and whatever. The clubs in JPL have to take onus in terms of helping to develop these players, so that they can also get the opportunity to get into the national team and even go further. Go ahead now, Tennessee.
Yeah, and but we can understand say 50-50. I'm supposed to bring so all right. Every country when you know, and the players come to the club system, don't they?
Yeah. See? England, all of them.
So you can't keep on and say players need to all right. It's like a man who wants to spoon feed the player at Jamaica. You want spoon feed them. See? You have to play a fair game, but you have competition. And as far as we say, we need help. We need help with players from overseas and money-wise. But you can't spoon feed a man and put him in a senior team or any kind of team just because he comes from Jamaica. And you feel like it. Because to me, I say, brother, we think that then thing, right? If you are doing something and you have competition, you have to go ruin the game if you want B9 team.
Yeah.
You see? You can't compete no player whether they're young or not. If only than you, a year of career, and you have to work hard if you want something. You see? Nobody can come at your house and pick you up and tell you if you come and trade. You have to trade for your own because you want the thing.
But watching a Tennessee.
Nah, I disagree with that.
Hold on. Finish Tennessee and let me interject and then take back Francis.
Yeah. Because you keep on talking about the youth and then I get an opportunity. Brother, if you in Jamaica and a JPL club now pick you up, they would think about you as a player.
But what in Tennessee? Let me just get an example, right? Because the Ducks Mr. Speid on a live stream the issue surrounding the pitches in Jamaica, right? And he said the JPF is not really responsible because it's really expensive to develop the pitches, you know. And lo and behold, I see TVJ cover a piece where some expert that say, yo, the fields in Jamaica, especially for JPL clubs, it is being abused, like them are overuse it, right? And they must say, if you really want to maintain the pitch them to a level, they cost like at least $2 to $3 million Jamaican dollars a year. Not many JPL clubs have that right in them pockets right now to maintain a field. You get me? I say? So if you have better fields, it helps in the development of players, right? So that's one thing. If you have better grassroots programs, that's another thing that can help in the development of youths. And when President Ricketts did up on a live stream recently, and him say a lot of the coaches at the primary school level are currently in line to get certified at the grassroots level to help players. So it's a natural progression. So at this moment in time, it's not a case where you can just dash young players into the team and say, give a chance. If there's like a one exception, like a Kahim Dixon, that's like an exceptional talent, then fine. Okay. But you know, the most deluded thing, me and man called for Fabian Reed in a national team recently. Me and man called for Junior Fleming stream there over Serbia recently. You see me, I say?
50-50.
My turn now? Oh, sorry.
Oh, one second. Let Francis go through. Go on, Francis.
Ricardo.
Yo.
I go back to I don't care how much money you pump into a system that is broken. It will never change. It doesn't matter. It starts with player development. It starts with facilities that you provide for these youth to enhance their game. You don't want to wait till you have a World Cup or a championship and then you start looking for players that you never helped to develop. Not even a little bit.
So we'll not forget Greenwood then. We'll not forget Greenwood and the reasons in them.
I'm saying you should pour into the resources from youth football to better not only the infrastructure, the players will get better. The teaching gets better. The coaching gets better. The individual development of skill, it gets better.
But I think that's what is being done at this moment. I think it is. All on man. Remember saying no, Rome wasn't built in one day, no. Cause watch on man. There's more emphasis on academies, no. Cause I think there's a recent competition like JFF announced one competition with the academies under 17, something like that. They need for former under 17 team and some of the JPL clubs. I think the competition even kick off already. So that's one aspect. There's the aspect of the taking the under 17 serious to qualify them for the World Cup each year. You have the under 18 where Butler, what's his name? Ultimate Butler, Freddie Butler. Yeah, he's there now. He's trying to get the best out of these players, right? Also, you have the senior team. So I think it's a work in progress. We can't go see everything be done this year. There's a lot of football to play this year. We have to make use of it on all levels. They get me, I say, but the owners, we cannot stress the JFF in that aspect of developing youths. It is not on the JFF really and truly. They can implement grassroots programs and coaching education programs, etc., to help the coaches in Jamaica. So when you help the coaches, that trickle down into the primary, the high school, the academies, etc., etc. And by 5-10 years time, you will see where at the youth level things will get better. But we're in no position like the Brazil and the England and all them people where it can just select from Freedom League. We're not in that position.
First up.
Go ahead.
No. Yeah,
Tennessee's going. Roll about Tennessee.
The guy say, all right, when we got the United States, even with the weekend team, we should have played our game. Friend, a long time I was football, see? And I can tell you this, Hallgrimsson out-coach, the two coaches who went against in the Nation League. You have to play with what you have. We couldn't go against the United States and go play them 2-2. We don't think about 6.
No, we're not.
If we have a team, what the United States have, and we And if we have a team with the United States have, and we go out there and barely beat them, remember now, the United States are playing at home. If we have that team, I play against the United States and Jamaica, and the United States have our team, and we have to beat them 1-0, they would still beat the coach. See? I can tell you this. All of them fancy football where you them and that, but I know me say, all right. I still think the team need improvement, it need midfield and stay. But Virgin, if Hallgrimsson come at Jamaica, and Jamaica play like Spain, and we jump out of the Nation League in the first round, we jump out of the World Cup in the first round, you don't still have them people that beat the coach.
Tell me when on the streams start hearing some fancy football.
The most important thing. The result right at this moment are the most important thing.
Mm-hmm. So we have never said fancy football and the year. We have never said that.
Not even once.
We have never said fancy football.
No, but
the team in the US game, the team played that structure. The team played that great defensive structure. In the US game, the team played a great defensive structure, and that brings us through the game. But unfortunately, that's our mistake, that cost us. But that's what we have talked about all along. A structure, and we saw the defensive structure, and that what brought us through that game. US couldn't break us down.
All night, I say. Why Francis around all night and say, the players did not listen to the coach, and the coach this and the coach that. So if that chance come on,
that's what he said. That's what coach said. That's what Coach Grimson said in the interview. Presser, am I wrong or right? Isn't that what you said?
What? So what?
Didn't you say Coach Grimson said the players are doing their individual, if they want to do it?
No. I'm not saying the players that, No, he never said that for the players at the national team. He must say in general, like before him come and even probably after him, Jamaica and so them play football is like individualistic. But he said that the players are being receptive to what he's telling them at the team. The individualistic thing was just like how Jamaicans play football. Everyone want to tackle a man or pile a man, that type of stuff. Yeah. So I must say we have to break out of that.
So when we say 50-50, we think the coach has done a very good job. He still has players, so that means his team not complete. It's still ability.
Yeah.
So he still need time to get everything. And we know say people want it fixed quick and everybody wants to see a brand of football. Because people still say Jamaica not play. Jamaica have a style of play. Jamaica have a style of play, but some people just don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Because there's no coach who could go there and pick up a team and reach we could almost reach the National League final. We reach the World Cup semi-final. The team have opened as FIFA rankings. So, missing improvement in our team. We just need to give coach time to get the pieces that we want so we can build the team. But there's no reason for everybody have beat the coach and that kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, we can criticize the coach in moments, And as Hallgrimsson is saying at the interview, I look forward to the Copa America because what it does allow him to do is have the player them for 1 month, which is probably the longest I'm going to have them for. They made normally him just have them for 8 days and him talk about the traveling hours for these players, they made it. So we just have to be optimistic towards the future and see what we have in store. But Tennessee might take a next call here.
Professor, ask a question still.
Right.
In 2011 though, we qualified for that World Cup in Mexico. How many of those players literally come from overseas?
Repeat the card.
Say from then time that till now, I don't think a Jamaica team ever prepared like that before. When we hosted the championship to go to under 17 World Cup in Mexico. Bro, I was around football at that time. Ryan probably can agree with me. Bro, Jamaica are prepared for that tournament for around 4 years, bro. Understand? And the thing about JFF and the whole developing and all that, bro. Look, when the war broke out in Croatia, in that Yugoslavia stuff, bro. You know what Croatia have done? Croatia Federation have created a body of different seminars around the country that go to help the clubs in.
Thank you.
You understand? And the fit, bro, even up to today, Croatia whole system of the field or whatever, bro, it's below par compared to Europe. The man,
But
the man them feel still the lower part to European football, the standard of Germany, the Scandinavian countries like Norway, Sweden.
But what you know, I would
believe in them system, and the federation have helped football a lot, and that's what we don't try to say. Just a little help with the whole thing around Jamaican football with the JPL club. Just a little help, and just a little bit of directions of to structure a whole youth league and a whole philosophy of how each individual coach going to coach the youngsters them. That's how we are saying. We not tell them say yo digging on the pocket 100%. We just have to say like just help around the country.
And not just in one region. Actually help around the country.
All right, what you know?
That's how that's how you're gonna know. That's how you're gonna know what you have and what you don't have. You have to give everybody an opportunity, and then you start to weed out. Okay, who can go to Division 1, who's a Division 2, who we can develop, because you can develop somebody into being good by putting 1-on-1, whatever the case may be. You can develop. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right. So before we get the call online, what I will say is you talk about them go around Croatia and whatever, help the clubs. This is why you have the FA them for different parishes. The responsibility is also on the FAs to help clubs, you know, but it comes with money because the JPL first has money to pass down, to trickle down to eventually give the FA so that them can help clubs as well. So it's like America, for example. You have the federal government, and then you have state and all these different respective stuff. You know, the federal government can issue all the different money them. If the mayor and the the governors now spend the money wisely, then nothing not gonna happen. But make we hear the call officer. Big up yourself, caller.
Yeah, man. Blessing, man. Evening, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me just gonna say something, man. Then we can hang up and just listen. Because the umbre there, Francis, he kind of too excited. He kind of too excited, bro. What hear me I say? See, because me I listen very carefully, you know. Me I wonder if, because I don't want to get no man wrong. You see me there?
Mm-hmm.
No, first of all, we in a situation where Copa and the qualified come up. See?
Yeah.
So, me no want misunderstand, you know. Like, you want to say some young player in Jamaica now to get put in the team and see who no better, and choose out a better one out of the pack or something like that. That's the first thing. See, no. Jamaica move from putting people in a team to expose people and then think, brother. Me heard a man mention about the under 17. So them player they should have started money stuff there. But if you got 100 under 17 World Cup, and you're not playing at a club, bro, all the coach will choose you. And the next thing is this. Jamaica Premier League side them. No matter how much youngsters they have, most of them not give the youngsters them some chance. Unless about the Cavaliers alone, me say, and maybe two other team who give some youngsters some chance. See?
Mm-hmm.
The thing about this, academy build players, and then the players leave from the academy and go to clubs. And then when them go to club, because I'm tell you something, they matter about system. Yeah? How much time we try this over and over, brother? A whole heap of years. We try that thing here. A whole heap of years we try that thing here. So boy, yes, build a base, because everybody want take the example of 1998. But a different era now, bro. You understand me I say?
Mm-hmm.
And me and my brethren I say Mexico boy, this man for them program, that's why they must suffer like that. Look what United States do, brother. Look what United States do. United States are the best team in the Concacaf. And overseas the man must to get the best.
Which part of them players that did there when they are youth? When McKinney them grew up at Dallas and police system in that crowd, what age them send them over to Europe? At what age?
Please.
Hello?
Yeah, go on.
Man, they get shipped over from them are youth because
but hold on now. The difference is with that is those players are I don't know if exponentially are the right word, but those players are exceptional in terms of their talent. hold on, man. Enough of the players who come back and play for the United States, right? Despite them getting shipped over from like 11, 12, 13 at different European clubs, those players were exceptional for 13, 14, 15 years old. So them are going to leave early compared to our players. Our players at 12, 13, 14 is nothing in comparison to some of these kids in America that are going in Europe. You just see the youth was signed for City with I think his name Sullivan. The man was 14, and the man in class him was a wonder kid, 14. What we class our wonder kid Whispers. Whisper was 17, 18 when him left. I just when Whisper get linked to Chelsea, everybody say I wonder kid, you know. These players are being wonder kids at the age of 11, 12, 13.
But Presser, they're being developed from like 5, 6.
But bro, you're talking about a country. Hold on, no. You're talking about a country with more resources, better infrastructure compared to Jamaica.
It has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with that. The reason why I say that is because football is one of the most inexpensive sports to play. You get a ball and you work on your skill set. What are we talking about?
Okay, so let me give you that then. Okay, it comes down to coach. It comes down to coaching education. There, we need. Okay, but the JF just explained to you that the JFF is trying their best to get more coaches certified at the grassroots level.
Mm-hmm. So
yeah, go ahead, call. Let me call.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, imagine I say you have nothing to do with money. I'm madness you're talking, brother. Brother, madness you're talking. Straight. Everything has to do with money. Brother, forget a good structure. From youth of 5 to come up. To educate them and give them everything that they need to turn them in a all-round football, bro. It takes money. Jamaica is a poor country, brother. So you see when you from the last youth World Cup, what want to tell me which other time? I mean, no say we pick a lot of Jamaican young youth. How much years now? I will never yet go back to another youth World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
I will pick mostly local youth, them. Eh? Big man, you hear me? I hang up, say, but hear me, I say, brother.
Yeah, man.
You see right now, I don't want the man to come with some things for upset nothing, brother. Make the coach pick me side. We are going in a competition right now, bro. We're going into a competition right now. Make we just go behind the coach and support what the coach do, brother. We understand, say, the football have a building in Jamaica. It need money. Let me tell you something. It needs some people in Jamaica who really love football to their heart. We do this, brother.
Yeah.
Trust me. Because to me, Jamaica is a football country, you know, brother. Jamaica is an athletic country.
Mm-hmm.
They are running and anything there. So we're trying to play football. But it needs money, bro.
Yeah.
And we're not going to take up no youth and put them in our national side just so them get exposure. When you get exposure, the national side see you and choose you. That's the thing, bro. Good night. Bless up on yourself.
Yeah, big up yourself.
I need to answer real quick.
One second, Francis.
Okay.
Let me just add something. Somebody said something in the comment section. I just want to say something. A lot of people make the observation that Jamaica is not poor. Yes, it's not a poor country, but you see the people them with the money, you need to go ask them for the money, which is private sector. I get me? I say, private sector not really interested if invest in football. So while the country not poor, you have to really go beg the people them. But Francis, let me take one more call. I have some caller.
So let me get on that before the caller though.
All right, 1 second. Double before I send on. Make Francis go ahead.
Hold on, real quick. For you to go out, Ricardo, agree with me or disagree. For you to go out and develop as a footballer, all it takes is time and work. It doesn't take money. Whether you're barefoot, whether you have shoes to go out and work on your touch.
When I say money, you mean like zero money, or just it's not going to take a massive amount?
No, I mean like whether you're tying, bear with me, whether you're tying plastic, whatever it takes for you to get a ball, to get anything to knock around, to work on your skills, your touch, your passes, your individual skill, developing of your individual skills. I'm not talking about developing into a system, because that's where the federation and the club. I'm talking about your individual skill. Like you have a child and you go out there to develop your child to be a footballer. You work on their individual skills. It takes it's time.
And then after you finish, it's gonna take a little bit.
Yeah, make the finish.
Of course. But I'm talking about the individual skill of a player. Like for you to actually like work on your skills.
All right, Francis. Like we get the caller. Double, go through.
All right.
Bless up.
Me know you. I mean, you have great knowledge of football. So for conversations here, I'm gonna call one of your host structure. I'm gonna call the other system. So the structure.
Which one is structure? Which one is structure? Francis, because I want to have a structure. All right, Francis then. Nick other system.
So, structure. Have you ever lived in Jamaica?
He's talking. I'm structured, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I was born in Jamaica. What do you mean? Of course.
Yeah, how long you live in Jamaica for?
Does it matter?
Yes, that's why I asked you. That's why I want. This is gonna determine why you say what you said.
For a number of years.
Okay, and where in Jamaica did you live?
In Kingston.
Which part of Kingston?
Well, that's getting a little personal.
The rich part or the poor part?
Which part of Kingston you
live? I live close to Duany Park.
Okay, all right. To be honest with you, from what you're saying, you sound like, let me tell you a common thing with Jamaican, right? When you ask them which part of Jamaica them live, them telling their neighborhood. Say if you come from Walter, I'm not tell you Walter. Most time when a man say live at Kingston, usually I lie, I tell. But I'm not saying you're lying, but I'm just saying usually you're lying. So
no, I live close to Duany Park, yeah.
I don't think you're in touch with the reality where football is concerned in Jamaica, right? So in Jamaica, right, football is an inner city sports. In America, it is you would have say it is a rich people sports.
I disagree.
Right? So you have all of these soccer mom that drive and that don't work and they take the kids to soccer and they drive around and they do that.
1 second,
right?
double.
A lot of times these parents in Jamaica are concerned about something to eat. They don't even have time to. They can't even think about taking kids to soccer practice, right? So
1 second, double.
In America, in reality, it can't work in Jamaica.
Let me add to that, double, because Francis Dovaya disagree with you, right? Let me just address Francis. I agree with double because a lot of Americans, despite trying to make ends meet, them complain about academy fees. You know what the slogan or the motto is for soccer in America or football? You have to pay to play. Pay to play. If you look on Nigerian and a lot of these kids, they had the backing of reaching to the level that they're at right now. And, double, I recently see a video now where somebody was complaining about the stress that parents in America have to go through to get their children at the professional level because they have to pay how much money, they have to drive how much miles, and coaches are saying, if you don't make it at this tournament, then that's now go get play. Says, and hold on, Ricardo. Una older man than me, and I want to move in a Jamaican culture. When me that grew up and me do want to play football, my mother tell me, say me must go focus on my education. And that's a lot of parents in Jamaica, that's a lot of mothers, despite if you have the talent, them not take a good training, them not try help you out in that aspect. Them might say, go get your CXC.
Even if they want to, the way the country, the GDP of the country set up, that it's kind of hard to get it done.
But make Francis go through.
Okay, go.
Francis, go ahead.
Nicardo's first.
All right, Ricardo, go through.
No, some of them, the thing about America, you have to pay and these things just recently start happening. You understand? If you're listening to the players and back then how them speak, football used to be free over here until recently, probably around 2006, 2008, around that time, things just started to change.
Yeah, but that's a long time ago. That's a long time.
Football was never ever free in America. Football was always a pay-to-play game.
Look.
I disagree.
I spent more than half my life in America. I came here in my very early 20s.
Look at this. Look at baseball and basketball over here. Just pray that. Everywhere you walk, everywhere you walk, you see something where the kids them can play.
Okay, you know America, right? As far as the economy, America have the best economy in the world.
Yeah, we just have, we know.
Right, so and Jamaica in reality is a third world country.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Most of the best players come out of
third world country. In all honesty, 50-50. Because I know you're a smart man, I think we're overachieving. And the next thing we must look into, right? I hear you guys talk about structure and system. You guys talk about football like it's boxing, where you win round by round. And the better you look at, the more points you get. Well, at the end of the day, if you don't put the ball in the back of the net, you cannot win a game. Right? And not because a system might not be attractive to your eyes, or a structure might not be attractive to your eyes. I saw a structured team playing against Panama, having 35% of the game and in control of the game, having 35% of the ball and in control of the game.
I agree with that.
What do you think, 50-50?
No, I agree. I think I saw a structure against Panama and the United States.
Right. So if these guys are talking about attractive football, that's
no, but you never said attractive.
To win a game, let me say this and then I'm gonna go structured man and system man and 50-50 the person that I know.
Yeah.
All right. To win a game, right, it takes goal, right? But attractive football, for I know myself, all right, Guatemala, El Salvador have been playing attractive football, and I can't remember the last time any one of those teams beat Jamaica. Right? And the next thing what we must look into, right? Our players are usually from England. You see that Jamaicans are England, right? And in England, they don't play a position play football. It's a more get the ball to the winger cross. It's not a position-based football, right? So we can get these players at 20 or 22 and teach them something that wasn't embedded in them from they were kids. So we're not set things, we're not look into everything before we just say what we like to see. Because world football is the most effective way to win a game. And whatever strategy you take, that's what you're gonna do. So Jamaica, yes, we're gonna have more position against, I would say, Nicaragua or to a lesser extent, Suriname or Curacao. We can dominate those teams, but we cannot approach Mexico or USA the way we approach those games. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
All right, big up the
guys.
Professor, the reason why I disagree, because I was a product of a single parent. That when everybody else was playing in cleats, I was playing in sneakers, giving them work on that field. Work to where the team see me and say, yo, hold on. The team see me and say, all right, whatever you need, we'll make it happen. Because my mom didn't have it. Working 2 and 3 jobs to try to make ends meet. So I know what I'm talking about. Growing up here, playing football in Canada. I'm not talking about money's not money's important. Money is important.
Yeah, we can just finish it.
But to say it's the end all be all of whether or not you're going to be a good player or not, no, it helps you take it to another level. There's levels and everything. But listen, to start off playing football. Okay, go ahead.
What I will say is, and this is where I think the JFF has to do better. We have to try to model. I think we have to look at Africa, for example, right? We have to look at the dominant countries in Africa in terms of how they get a lot of their players in European top leagues, right? Because Africa does that well, the respective countries in Africa. I think, a lot of countries in Africa that have players across the globe in top European competitions or leagues, I should say, they're not the richest countries. You know what I'm saying? I would think that they have a bit more money than Jamaica, especially countries like Nigeria, etc. More population, more money, whatever the case is. So I think some of these countries like Cameroon, Mali, a lot of these countries, we need to try to take something from each country in order to implement in our culture that can help us despite us not having a lot of the money, because a lot of those countries, they don't have the best facilities or infrastructure, to be honest. So JFF maybe can do better in that aspect. But other than that, we have to figure out something else, and we have to progress with what we have at this moment in time. But make the caller go ahead. Caller, big up yourself.
Yeah, best of gentlemen. I really appreciate the conversation, rich conversation. I want to ask a few questions. I'm in the UK, right? And I'm familiar with Money Cup and Blackcaster Cup back in the days until this point. We know we currently do not have these football academies or youth system, but we have one of the best football programs, school programs across the world. So, for example, here in England or London, they don't really have that structured schoolboy system like what we have back home. Could we, question to you and your panel, could we start somewhere by when we have that all Money Cup and all that customer team, when we put that team together, could we have them playing in the National Premier League together to keep them going, developing the system of play that you guys made mention?
What, at the Jamaica Premier League?
So, yes, could we have that all Money Cup and that customer team put together and let them play the Jamaican Premier League for game time development, as well as continue to go across the globe in the region and play games together so we can keep them? Because one of my points is that all these teams that are successful, they tend to play together for a while. You look at, we can't compare the Argentina, but for example, the Messi and the Agueros have been coming up together from their youth system until they become pro. So I'm thinking that even when these gentlemen get an opportunity at their respective levels, maybe that is a scouting team or we can use to perhaps get them into the Americas, get them in the UK, but they have to be able to stay together from there. So my point I'm saying is that we have that blend of players from the Armand in Dakar Cup coming together, maybe playing in the Premier League, giving them game times, and hopefully we can start something like that.
Let me address that first then, Francis, and I guess system and structure can take this, but big up Marlon Nelson. Let me just answer that, right? I don't think the JFF, they're placing a bit more emphasis, and this was a couple years ago, on JPL teams to take young players in the teams, right? It's same thing like in America, where remember MLS teams never used to like take young players in there, get me I say? But there's a bit more emphasis on like having a what's they call in England? A homegrown quota system, something like that. Yeah, you know, like you have to have like say like 5 or 6 English-based players in your team, right? So the JFF, they're kind of employing more teams to take young players, which they have been doing. Now, what's another thing that they've been doing? You see, they start to focus on the under 17 and under 18 competitions, because what they're trying to make happen now is that, remember, in schoolboy football is like 3 to 4 months, right? A lot of the players after that, they're not really playing a football. So a lot of the competitions that the JFF is trying to implement now is so that when the schoolboy football season finish, they can still play competitions at a certain level. So if me play for Calabar and a man play for JC and a man play for KC, whatever the case is, at least me know after schoolboy football, we're going to link up at the academy level or a different club, and we're going to play a little maybe under 17 or under 18 competition. So they will still be growing together. You know what I'm saying? And then you have the national program where you have the under 17, under 18, under 15, where you will eventually meet at that level as well and play with the same people then where you play against at different academies or whatever the case is. So the JFF, they're trying to implement these things. So it's not like say it's not being done, but that's the best way that we can go about it. Now let me just head over to Nicardo and Francis. Nicardo, go first. What do you want to say pertain to the question?
I make Francis go on, man.
All right, Francis, go ahead.
Again, the system that can work. They can take the schoolboy football and try to, move them along into these clubs. Here's the problem that I have that I see is going to be a problem. It comes back down to money. Blinded by money. These clubs they're trying to pay the bills of the club. Do you understand? Rather than trying to, help to develop these players so that they can be better overall, which in turn betters the league. It's all about the development. Whether you're coming from 7 or 17, you know what I mean? It's the development that I'm worried about. But we as people, we make the money blind us. We make the money cover our perspective of what the goal is. The goal is to develop a nation of footballers, period. Skill, education of football that can transfer through many different levels.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times in the US and Canada, a lot of these players, especially in Canada, you get a lot of the looks from playing high school football, basketball, baseball, football, not from playing club. Parents can't afford to send you to
Yeah, but we have to make a differentiation in Canada.
But hold on, this is from playing. I'm just giving an example. This is from playing from drop-in. You have drop-in where you have a little pickup game and you develop your skills from playing there. You understand? You have YMCA. You have different things where you can go outside on the park. You go and play and develop your skill and get your grit. And then when you play your high school for free, okay, you join your high school team for free. Somebody might say, "Oh, he has a diamond in the rough. He has a little skill I can develop." And then they invite you to come out for a trial, and then you can work it from there. But I'm saying there is no structure for that. For those kids that are out there just kicking around, the reason why they're kicking around because there's nothing else for them to do. Okay, they develop the skills, but there's nowhere for them to actually put it to use.
But that's why I said that the JFF is trying to implement programs that after the schoolboy football season finish, the players are still playing on a year-to-year basis. Like after the 3 to 4 months elapse,
not throughout
after that,
that's for sure.
So they're trying to get players to play because it doesn't make sense to play 3 to 4 months of schoolboy football and go sit down. You get me? I say it doesn't make sense. Now you talk about the YMCA or whatever or high school level in America and college level. I mean NFL and a lot of these respective leagues they do draft from that level, but that's different. That's different caliber. Like those levels actually have good players for them to like pick from.
No. Everybody's at the same level. If you're hold on.
Where did Zion Williamson come from? Zion Williamson was identified from in high school and he went to Duke. The man was a monster from the get-go. LeBron James out of high school was a monster.
I hear that, but where did that develop from, Presser? Where did it develop from? It didn't develop from high school.
Let the caller go on. Let the caller go ahead. Go ahead, caller.
I could say something. The point I'm trying to make is that, for example, remember those seasons when the QPs were scoring the ton load of goals. The Jamaic trophy was still for the Premier League now. I'm talking about getting the best of the best.
Hold on, I can't hear the caller real clear.
1 second. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm saying, I'm talking about getting the best of the best, say, 30 schoolboy players right across Jamaica, keeping them together. So it's not necessarily saying having a Cavalier, Mount Pleasant, taking a player here or there, but having those 22 players, say season 23, 24, together, having them in a system where they're playing together, they're understanding the system that Coach Hallgrimsson wants to have or carry the future for, and getting them to play. He needs many competitions, fine that you made reference to, going on tours to play matches and play in our Premier League, which is the best league we have in Jamaica right now, to get the exposure, get all the defeats, but understand the system of play and also transition into the senior team. That's my thing per se. Why I say that, my brothers, is that we do not have the infrastructure, we don't have the money like other countries around the globe, but we know how to play football. Whether we like it, we don't have the best surfaces, but we know to play football. Under Coach Hallgrimsson, I would say, let us give him some more time. Yes, people might say 2 years is a long period, but I have seen growth. I have seen development. I've seen the identity, especially in the last 3 windows. And by the way, yes, Canada, all these countries are more advanced than us, but to see the changes that the coach made in play and see all the players rally around, and even too, with that game against US, where we lost at the dying moment or lose the game at the dying moment, it's just a loss of concentration. Mm-hmm. These things happen. And regardless of how US dominated the game, we stood behind the ball, we stayed in possession, we ensured that we followed the game plan. So yes, the players are learning. Yes, give the coach more time. But I'm saying we need to have this system from that level. And I feel if we keep those money up and the customer up together, we can do well. Remember, they have that final for me. Remember that they have that every year, the tour. I remember Neville Bell took the All Money Cup team, Lenny and I took All Money Cup and the customer Cup team together to play. Even this year, I'm talking about keeping them together.
Yeah. I mean, Carla, somebody said in the comment section, the thing with keeping them together is, you see, you'll have some talents in that batch, but enough man want to go college. Some people don't want to take it at a professional level, whilst some want to go play professional. So I guess you just have to go pick the one that will actually want to play professionally at a higher level, and then, formulate something with that batch of players, them way there. But as me say, the JFF, I think they're trying to implement programs in place, but more emphasis has to be placed on clubs in terms of developing players, because the Cavaliers is a prime example where everybody was with Mr. Speid, where him send players overseas and the man they will now come back to Jamaica and say they were not developed properly. But to be fair to Cavaliers, and so we have to develop the players from like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, because our players are 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, they're nowhere in comparison to players across the globe. And when you look at England and a lot of these respective countries, in terms of when you hear the stories about players and how them develop, them they say, boy, so from come out and mother who may kick football though. Our players, some of them not kick football at a good level till what, 10, 11.
Yes.
You know them way there. So, we have to do better in that. And it starts from grassroots, and that's the word, grassroots. It goes back to track and field in Jamaica. When you hear about the UCM, about the Shelley and Fraser Price, them not tell you say them are run from 11, 12. Them tell you say them are run from 3, 4, 5, 6, and I get every medal at primary and basic school. You know them way there. So, I mean, it's a work in progress, and we have to place more emphasis. We have to pressure the JFF a bit more, as well as clubs, but more emphasis. I think we should turn our eyes to clubs so that they can help to develop these players a bit more. They should be more responsible with developing these players rather than just develop them to a level for just send them up. Because when they send out these players, and them do well in respective leagues, they scout them, I go pre-Jamaica and say, can go buy 5 man cheap down at Jamaica, we're actually good and we can turn a profit. Some of them can eventually come at the club and be a staple in the club, So with the Whisper them and the Kahim Dixon now go overseas, and we don't have the Leon Bailey. As bad as Craig Butler want to be, I know enough people bash him. We see where Aston Villa people come to Jamaica and you know, them I work with Craig Butler, you know. Him send like 4 or 5 players recently for Aston Villa, I think Brentford and some of these clubs interested. So whether it's Phoenix, them come from or other academies in Jamaica, once these players go outside of the country and do well, then scouts will turn the eye to Jamaica and say, you know what, we can go Jamaica for pick up players.
My final point in the league so that other callers can get a chance, my brothers. You support United, I support United.
Mm-hmm.
We are nowhere making comparisons. I don't want anyone to get it wrong. But look how long it took Sir Alex Ferguson at the time to build this program. He almost lost his job. Time is the important factor here. And we have to agree and admit that what we have seen from Hallgrimsson in the 2 years span, we have seen improvement. Whether the changes are slow or not, we're moving in the right direction. Now, regardless of how we may feel about the individual, we have to respect his credentials. We have to respect his record CV. But at the same point in time, we can't wait for 26 years, yes. But give the man the opportunity. And let us rally the troops behind home and abroad, support one Jamaica. We are one Jamaican every step of the way. And thank you, gentlemen, for the call, yeah?
All right, big up call. Francis, before we get to you, I have like 2 more calls for call back. Let me just address these 2 comments. No, Gunners boss, when I say pressure the JFF, I mean pressure them in the sense that like more coaching education to like bring in people so that they can have programs. So whoever want to become coach in Jamaica, whoever want to become certified, they can have that opportunity. That I mean. And the next comment, so is the JFF responsible for building academies? No, I'm not saying them responsible. I'm just saying it starts from a leadership position. So the JFF has to implement things in place so that the FAs in different parishes as well as academies can look and say, okay, this is what the leadership is doing. So we're going to try to model ourselves off this as well to help the youths in Jamaica. That's all I'm saying. Francis, take the floor. Let me bring back that person.
Ricardo, you had something to say?
No,
man.
Previously, said about, merge the Manning Cup and the Dakar Cup together, Yeah, it can work, but I would love to see it probably at a younger age, When you say like 18, 19, I think that's a bit too old. You understand? So maybe it can be a little bit younger. But when people hear me and hear talking about, Heimir Hallgrímsson about, structure and system, it's not like I'm not backing the coach. I love what the coach is doing. But I'm saying, in order to sustain at the top, there has to be something to back up that weight. If the weight below is light, everything just going to fall right through. You get what I say? Just like what 80 have done with their structure of house. They realize that they're getting these natural disasters, so they structure their house a different way. So when it fall down, it doesn't hurt the people and that much. So that's why I say, in order to sustain these things, the players that's coming through locally and abroad, there has to be a pathway for them to walk on. You get what I say? So the team can really gel together. And then when you go up against the big teams, it won't be that difficult because pressure and everyone, if you raise your child in a broken system, more likely, gang violence, more likely probably take your son away from you. So you have to raise your son around a proper household system so him don't go out and thief. Yeah, the probability of him grow up in the household, raised properly, it's very low for him to go out there and do stuff that he's not supposed to do. So that's how I say, we're back coach Hallgrimsson. We're not really talking about fancy football. We're not talking about, this tiki-taka business. No. And the Guatemala and these countries, they have a proper structure in terms of playing cute football, but you have to back up that with something. And we have the talent. So if we can use a proper model to back up our talent, then who can beat us? That's all we are saying. We just want to see these things align with the team. We're not saying we don't love the coach, we love him. There was a structure in the Panama game and the US game. That's why we were so hard to beat. The Americans, they were confused because they never see this.
All right, Ricardo, one second.
That's all I have to say.
Hold up, Francis, may I get back to you, but we have some caller coming. So
man.
Big up yourself, caller. What you have to say now?
Yeah, I actually call the kind of the onside like when he would wear myself, but what football nation wants to Jamaica emulate with both the style of play and the system of developing players. First, I kind of touch upon it when him say Jamaica, what are they closer to like the African countries where them now have the money to put into investing into the program, and it kind of come from outsource it. So I try to understand from specifically Francis, because they're not Jamaica, so you would really understand how players really develop out there. You see Butler try different things where as well, and then you come on the program one night to play for Georges. Marshall.
Sorry, Alex Marshall.
When Marshall reach a Germany, Marshall said him can't, the coach can look on him and say he can't learn certain things because he should have learned it already.
Yeah.
So what structure, which country you, Francis, would want to Jamaica emulate with both the structure and the system for developing players? What your out of touch or in touch is with your points?
Which structure?
No,
like,
which country?
Yeah,
you
like,
don't want
like
Jamaica.
Spain? Yeah. Like I'll give you an example, like Spain.
Yeah. So Spain.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, continue.
Yeah, I was saying like Spain, because clearly the rest of the world is caught up to Spain because they were dominating for a while based on them elevating their football education. When everybody is playing long ball, they started knocking the ball around, and everybody's spending a lot of the time chasing. So it comes back to football lovers, people who love football that want to educate themselves in football and grow their football knowledge to now pass on that knowledge to the youth them. And not sit back and just cross their 10 and rely on. So no, like football lovers.
Go show Carla.
All right. So Spain. You think that the Spain FA developed Spain football philosophy?
No, they helped, but the football lovers of Spain, no, they helped.
No, incorrect. Clubs like Bilbao, clubs like Barca, clubs like Real Madrid, they have development of the players from grassroots levels. And the Spain FA contribute to that. The clubs, them, you look at a club like Bilbao, them not take nobody from, them not buy players, them strictly develop them players. They not buy no player at all. So all of them profit come from Bilbao itself. Same thing with Barca, through Barca, straight from that. But you can't really say the Spain FA developed Spain. So as the president I say, I look on a country like Morocco reach so far in the World Cup. Look on a country like Cameroon where they reach far. Another FA or anything, and outside investments come in. Samuel Eto'o get partnership with Barca. We know it's a Barca have a development structure in Cameroon. So you have to do more research when you try to come across with points like this. You're kind of out of touch with the country itself. Listen to when press attack. In the points them on point. And the JFF alone are going to be responsible for developing football in Jamaica. Jamaica need investment. Our Hallgrimsson are going to do now. Hopefully, he can qualify for the World Cup. We'll get more investment in the country. You have to go so far, go closer to Brazil. Jamaica is a big football nation compared to other clubs like Rainbow clubs, other countries like Brazil. Years and years and years of development we talk about in Brazil. The youth were probably going to take a Whisper game and make Whisper go up and loan.
But the youth were just signed Chelsea.
Estavio.
Yeah.
They must Estavio better than Hendrick. You see? When Richarlison, I'll wrap it up still. When Richarlison and man like Hendrick coming through Brazil football team, yeah, they might come from dirt poor sections of Brazil or from favelas or whatever. But the clubs them organize. Once they reach in at the clubs, them can go through with football. Go through with football. So under the JFF responsibility, Jamaica need investment. Under the FA responsibility. So I just that more answers. So big up on yourself.
Hold on, before you go, hold on, before you go.
Sir.
I again, you're talking about knowledge. I disagree. These obviously we're going back now to economics. The economics in Spain is better than Jamaica. We don't need to. We know that, correct? But to say the Spanish FA has nothing to do with the development of the football in the country, it's hard for me to agree with you with that.
Well, let me say this. If you look back a couple years ago,
They
right?
didn't say they're the sole reason, but they say they had no inclusion in the development of the football. I disagree with that.
Well, what I will say is, well, I know, Carla, if you look back a couple years ago, at one point it seemed like they just Barcelona and Real Madrid are the sole people responsible for developing football. If you look on the Spain team a couple years ago, when Iniesta and them people that play are just them. What I will say, where the Spain FA had to step in to kind of restructure things was after the dominance of Madrid and Barcelona. You get me? I say, where you see a lot of there was a stat or some fact that I don't remember which World Cup, but it was the first time the Spain team never have like a player from Barca or something like so. Or Real Madrid, or the starting level never consists of Barcelona and Real Madrid players. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, and they had players from different clubs, etc.
Yeah. All right. So to counter what you say, Francis, when you say under the FA responsibility, I want to teach a child something, and you need the best professional, the best. You ever try to teach something or something? Sorry for going apart. You understand, Potter, right?
Of course.
You know that out of touch one.
You ever try to teach a kid something?
Come on.
To teach somebody we're totally naive. So imagine you teach a child how to play football, and I try to teach him grassroots level of knowledge we're supposed to have about football. We need a proper structure, and anything you ever do, as a touch on economics. I understand you have a passion about it, but draw back a passion and try to put some more thought into it.
But this is where I disagree, because this is where I disagree. This is where I disagree. This is where I disagree, because I'll go into football, but I'll go into other sports. When you have other parents that train their child and they make it to professional level without a professional coach, what do you say? You playing hockey? You build. Hold on. Let me finish. I didn't cut you. Let me finish. Hold on. Let me finish. You develop your child. You do your homework. You study. You better yourself, and you pour into your child. Now, there's some players you can take all the way. There's some players you can only take to a certain level. Somebody else takes over with a little bit more knowledge. But to say completely that it can't happen, I can't agree with you again. Because you're saying right off the bat that it can't happen. You need from 2, 3, 4, you need a professional. I disagree. You can teach if you teach yourself. Of course you can.
All right, one, and that's why I tell you to ease off of the passion. We're going to have how much people in Jamaica? 3 million. We're going to have 3 million Project Mbappe's across the nation.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Like that. So, no, relax, man. You're not going to issue. You never ever see that in Jamaica. Me, I tell you that. Me used to play a Mining Cup. I have to fight my mother to play that.
Mm-hmm. But that's a parent thing.
We went to come and see me play. She have a problem. She has education first. I not play football now. I inside at 20 minutes I go for my passion. What I try to show you is this. You know, have the parents and full participation. So in the card they sit down and say, you there express say you will go in a sneakers and next man I go. And every parent I go believe in a division. You take a coach, the girl come on the program last night and say, the coach believe in her and say, you know, say if we're going to media, sometimes you take a professional to see what potential is there. Even when you have Project Mbappe's, remember say them they still have that structure that a France with Bernard for them come through and Benzema them come through. There is structure everywhere. Butler try something with Phoenix, I can't have it. He might get a fight. But if the clubs them have academies, I'm gonna wrap it up, press a start. If the clubs them have academies linked to the club, it'll go better for the club. It'll go better for the nation. We're not gonna have no Project Mbappe's all across the nation. So
Caller, I disagree with you. No, the reason why I disagree with you, and I disagree with anybody. If your parents don't believe in your talent, that's your parents, respectfully. If your parents believe that educate, that's your parents. That's your household. That's your household structure. You can't paint that on everybody. You have people out there that believe in their child. They believe in their abilities. They believe that school's not for them. This is for them. That's a fact. If your parents believe that, that's your parents. They need to believe more in you and what you can do. They need to see what you can do and believe in what you're saying and believe in what you're producing. Period. That's how I believe. That's what I believe.
All right, let me say this, right? But I try call back a call. If him call back, then me take the call because we need to kind of move on to some different topics. But me here one officer, right? I think we exhaust this thing because it started off with JPL Hallgrimsson. Then it Hallgrimsson kind of comes into the structure because he spoke about that, right? Individualism, whatever the case is, and that falls under creating a structure. Now, I think what I'm going to do, I could create a 26-man squad, right? Or in this case, I could create a starting level. So let me just pull it up on screen, and with the viewers as well, we just take their help and create the best starting level for the Copa America, right? So it's not everybody's fit, nobody's suspended. Leon Bailey's back in the team. What are we gonna take? And for some reason, what's loading up? Did that work? Don't know. Let me see. But yeah, no, I think some of the callers made some brilliant points in terms of their assessment. You know, we agree to disagree on most things, some of us, which is not bad because, you know, football is all about opinions and we'll always differentiate in our opinions, you know, the way I try to bring this up on screen, but for some reason it not load. So I'm almost there. But let me just ask, let me just talk about something. So until this load up. Now, I want to talk about Michail Antonio, right? Because Michail Antonio did a very interesting interview recently. I think Ricardo, you covered that interview, right?
Yeah, I did cover that one.
Yeah. Francis, you saw the interview?
Yeah, I was partaking in Ricardo's media stream when he was breaking it down. Good job, by the way.
Yeah, so Michail Antonio did a very interesting interview in which spoke about him getting a divorce and how it affected him. But throughout the interview, what he expressed was his love for Jamaica and playing for the country. And I think the title for Ricardo's video was that Jamaica rejected me at 22, right? And a lot of Reggae Boyz fans, the number one thing that they've done surrounding Michail Antonio is that
turn me down.
Yeah.
Turn me down.
Yeah, turn him down, right?
Turn me down. Yeah.
Yeah. But one thing Reggae Boyz fans, some Reggae Boyz fans like to do is question the what's the word? The commitment of Michail Antonio, right? Yeah. But here's a guy who always stated that he always wanted to play for Jamaica, however, they rejected him, blah blah blah. And
no, just they can't. You don't know. I wanted that so Irish reject.
All right.
Him said
they never
reject. Him said turn him down.
All right, them turn him down, right?
Yeah.
Now the thing is, here's Michail Antonio who sometimes him get injuries and him pull out of the selection and people say, you're not committed, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But even throughout his divorce and how it was affecting him, the man even got to the extent of praying for an injury. And I was telling somebody on my show recently that it's kind of unheard of where a player's going through something and then pray to get injured. You know the way I've never really heard a player say, them want to get injured. So that was a bit extreme from Michail Antonio. Not bashing him for what he's saying, but it's just eye-opening to me and how I've been watching football, I never hear a player say that. I normally know if players are go through stuff, they might either gamble or drink or party or whatever the case is. So, Ricardo, let me hear your thoughts surrounding the interview. Michail Antonio expressing his love for playing for Jamaica despite going through struggles. What do you think?
Before we touch on that, Neymar did say him always try to get a lot of yellow cards so he could miss the game so he could keep his party in Brazil. But it was very eye-opening, because a lot of people, used to say, Michail Antonio is not commit, and as soon as him picked up a look at that, he's out of the squad. And I remember in the World Cup, a lot of people were criticizing Michail Antonio that you need to do more, especially putting the ball in the back of the net. And really and truly, we didn't even realize that he was going through a whole different stress. You understand? And for a player to come out and said, look, I just want to get injured, after this game. I want to get injured because going into a toxic environment for him in terms of, this club, his family, whatever he's going through, it takes a lot on his body. And a player at that age, you don't want to be going through stuff like that, but it's just ridiculous. I have never heard that though. A player said, he want to injure so he could miss the rest of the games. Yeah. But I take it as something that, look, players that's coming in from abroad, who didn't born in the country, they love the country. So we just can't criticize them whenever something didn't do wrong. You get me? I say, in terms of if they don't play good for the national team, we can't just like go beyond and say, this and that. Sometimes we have to be really careful how we critique the player. we can critique them, but not to the extent where, you know, going like in the player personal life and stuff like that. You know, not saying people did not criticize Antonio in the World Cup in terms of in personal life, but I'm just saying, you know, we have to be careful. But look, it was a very interesting one, and he showed us a lot of things, you know, on how English players sometimes think and their love for the country.
Yeah, Francis, you want to add to that?
Yeah, I just want to ask Ricardo one. What was your biggest takeaway from that interview, if you don't mind me asking real quick before I give my take?
Winning the Conference League and still happy, because that was a massive thing for West Ham, winning a European trophy. And when he said that on their way back to the hotel, he was just sleeping on the couch. Meanwhile, everyone was drinking, you know, and partying. You know, he was like, I was just out of it. Look, I said it previous time, you know, he have single-handed, you know, take that team to the final, scoring all the ties from the knockout round started to the semi-final. So he have played his part in that tournament, you know. So for him say that, yo, I was unhappy, short even when you won the conference, man, that was eye-opening for me. Then the Reggae Boyz.
For me personally, and respect for that, for me personally, the fact that there was no belief in his ability. There was no belief in his ability from young. That was the biggest thing for me. And that carried over into him playing professional football. That's part of the reason why he was mentally drained and was laying on the couch instead of celebrating, because he's fought so hard to get to where he is. He had nothing else left to give. Every day was a fight. Every day was proving himself. Every day was proving himself to somebody who didn't believe in him. For those around that didn't believe in him. You understand what I'm saying? And I think that's a big thing for youth. You have youth. Not everybody's gonna have the confidence like it's me. Some people, they need that little push. They need that little, you know what? You might not be what you are right now, but that don't mean you're not gonna be that later. And I think that was one of the biggest thing. That was the glaring thing I heard Michail Antonio say, and the belief in himself. That, you know what, one day this is what I want to do. One day I'm just going to keep plugging at it. I'm going to keep working at it. I'm going to keep working at it. I'm going to keep working at it. Even when they call him donkey, he still believed in himself. Because those are cause for you to have doubt in yourself.
Yeah.
But he never let that turn him down. He never let that turn him. That's not going to be for everybody.
Yeah.
So the old boy them got to come out the way and let the young boy them come through and do what they do, man. They got to step aside and let the young boy them develop their character. As footballers, not everybody's gonna be imbibed, but Antonio, with a little bit, think about this, nigga, with a little bit more support, a little bit. Can you imagine what type of footballer he could have been?
Yeah,
like honestly.
But you see, the thing, you know, a lot of professional players, because they do so many things. You know, they travel. You know, they have to watch their diet and stuff like that. Have to be in the gym. You know, have to be resting. And when he said that, you know, his missus was a big part of his life, you know, that can take a massive hit. You know, she was probably the backbone that was holding the family up. You know what I said, taking care of the kids, you know, motivating him. Probably she was the only one that believed in him.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So, yeah, his missus was a big part, man, to all he was saying in that interview.
And you know, I mean, it took a toll on him. A lot of times you can't think about the things that are happening outside of what's going on the pitch. There's another Brazilian that had to go seek a therapist, just like what Antonio said, because of the pressures, the pressure, the pressurized situation of performing, man, of producing. It's not easy.
You talking Richarlison?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's similar to what Antonio was saying. I mean, he didn't break down as far.
Yeah, he didn't give a lot. He didn't really give a lot, but you know, he have said a few pieces similar. But the pressure, yeah, you know, I think, you know, it have to come from the grassroots level.
Got to
develop the youth their mind at that age. You understand? Because I remember, you know, I was like that too until my father kind of get a hold of me around 11, 12. You know, instill that mindset. Look, you're not going to win every game. You know, you have to brace yourself for the disappointments, injuries, and stuff like that. When you can't go to training, you have to brace yourself for that. So yeah, I think, in terms of development, that need to structure around the youth a lot more, because when you really look at it, it's getting harder and harder. The pressure, the weight of getting to professional. Look at so many youngsters, who got their scholarship, their youth scholarship in whatever professional clubs in England, get cut. And look how many of them that go into mental health, who want to do suicide and stuff like that, so it's a lot of pressure. So in terms of getting the best out of the youth, them, you have to train your mind, because the mind is the strongest spine. You know what I say? So
it's mental.
Yeah.
Everything is completely mental. Before it is physical. The physical is going to be there, but if the mental is not there, you're going to perform, but you're going to be a shell of yourself. You're going to be. Can you imagine the pressure? Like, give you example. Like, I heard Rudolph Speid said this in a post game interview.
Yeah.
He said it's easy to coach this team because a lot of these players, they want to go overseas, so they're going to play hard. Yeah. Can you imagine the pressures on their shoulders every time they step on the pitch to produce, because their goal is to play professional football?
Yeah.
That is a lot of pressure.
Ricardo, can you hear me?
Ricardo, you came in and his mic jumped out. Still can't hear you.
Wait, can you hear me now?
You can't hear you, Presser, but Ricardo, I can't hear Ricardo. You can't hear nobody.
Oh, I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Yeah, Ricardo just dropped off. You were saying something too.
All right, here are people. Internet connection kind of shaky, so I don't want to cut off again and the live stream not end. So I'll just call it a night here. All right. Francis, do you have nothing to say?
Just big up to everybody in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Watching and listening. Appreciate the phone calls back and forth. Reggae Boyz, we said, man.
Yeah, people, listen. Ryan LFC will pick up on the Michail Antonio thing. Also, I'm gonna send him the link so he can use to build the 26-man squad. And yeah, hopefully we can hold on the fort for Ryan again. But Ricardo, I guess through me can shout out to your channel. People, go over to Ricardo Media House and subscribe to his YouTube channel, NICARDOMEDIAHOUSE, Ricardo Media House. Francis, you have no YouTube channel?
Yep. Next up, Sports Talk. Check me out.
Next up, Sports Talk. Also, if you want to hear more from me, go over to 433 Presser. Subscribe. 433 the formation, not in words, the numbers 433 PRESSER. People, once again, respect for the support. The thing is, but I call Ryan, but no know him this, so I don't want it cut off again and then we can't get to end it. So people, once again, bless up for the continuous support. Big up to Ryan LFC, big up to Elite Sports TV, and as the boss himself, what I said, believe. Let me give them the big bad outro. Let me just find it quickly. And have a good night, people. Hopefully the JPL final go well tomorrow. Obviously for me, I want Cavaliers win. I think Ricardo did say Mount Pleasant. Ricardo did say?
Yeah, Mount Pleasant.
And you say Mount Pleasant. So, all right then, people, big up on yourself.
Island best juice. What are you waiting on? Check them out on Instagram and Facebook. Island best juice. It's your boy, Ryan LFC, representing for Island best juice. If you are in the United States and you not try Island best juice, what you waiting on? Look at these beautiful flavor. Why not? If you are in Tampa, if you are in Florida, if you not drink Island best juice, you not drink the juice. It's your boy Ryan LFC, representing for Island best juice, the best juice in Florida. What you waiting on? Anyway, across the United States, Island best juice can find you. If they find me and me all the way in Canada, why not? Check them out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere they are. Island best juice.
I am Liam Bailey, and you are watching Elite Sports TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
All right. Enough respect.
Hey guys, Bunny Shaw here with Elite Sports TV. Make sure you like and subscribe and always tune in.